On this episode, Jason C. from the Mash and Drum drops by to give the Bourbon Hunters a blind of previously written off LTOs from various distilleries, and the normal shit-talking ensues. Find out what they think on this episode of the Bourbon Hunters. But before we get started, do you like our podcast? Do you like bourbon gear? Visit our website at www.bourbonhunters.com to check out our bourbon shirts and to buy a Bourbon Hunter Kinsey Dram. Thank you for taking time out of your day to join us on our hunt for great bourbon. Reward yourself and sit back, grab a pour, kick up your feet, and enjoy. Welcome to another episode of the Bourbon Hunters. I'm Duke Poole. I'm joined by
Rep Ryan.
And today we've got
Jason C. from the Mash and Drum.
I think this is you're up to 10 almost, I bet. I'd say episodes with us.
Yeah, for sure.
I think so. Yeah, absolutely.
I think Martel was vying for second most outside of Brett and Tyler, but I think you might have him. So
yeah, it's been a while. It's good to see you guys.
Yeah,
was Louisville the last time, or did we have one in between?
The last time was the Middle West when I saw you guys.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, the 150th.
The 150th.
That's right. Yeah, I forgot about that actually. I was thinking Louisville too.
Did you see they posted a
picture of the rendering? Yeah.
Oh my God, their new facility is going to be killer.
It's awesome. I'm so happy for those guys.
Yeah,
that's
same.
awesome.
I've been there, and it. So for the Arnold, they gave us a whole bunch of swag and stuff to give out, and I had to pick it up from that facility. So that's where they're doing all their milling right now. They're still doing their distilling at the place downtown, but the column still there is freaking huge.
Yeah.
It is humongous.
Well, I mean, when you start doing more contract distilling like they are going to do, they're going to need as much output as they can.
Yeah. Now, the interesting thing, though, is it's from my understanding, generally speaking anyway, the column stills are 24/7. Mm-hmm. So, like, that's what makes me wonder, are they going to do their contract distilling at their old place and then do their own stuff 24/7 at the... Because I feel like that you kind of have to shut it down, with a new grain and a new mash bill or whatever, and probably clean it up and stuff. And
yeah, I mean, I've seen different methodologies depending on, when you go to Bardstown Bourbon Company and you kind of see how it's scheduled out when they do different distillers and the way they do it. I think it just depends.
Yeah, I'm sure there's probably... They've probably even talked to Bardstown Bourbon Company about how they do it, I bet.
Yeah, probably.
But just knowing how much that they do a decent amount of contract distilling.
Yeah, I know.
And who did we have on that we didn't even know?
One Line, I think.
Old Line.
Old Line, yeah.
Old Line. Which they sent us their cask strength single malt.
That's awesome.
I haven't opened that yet. I need to get
cool.
that. And I've still got his shirt.
Oh, to send to him?
Sitting upstairs.
Yeah.
It's been printed for but the Arnold and all this stuff with banks and everything else, I just haven't gotten out. So
yeah.
But I need to send that to him. So, but that's a great... Did you see the shirt?
I did.
Often wrong, but never in doubt.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, that is just so Tyler.
It's such a great shirt.
When he said it, we're like, say that again? Yeah. That was really good. Can I write that down?
Yeah. I was like, I'll send you a shirt, but I'm going to make that for Tyler.
Yeah.
So today we've got Jason C. from the Mash and Drum. He's wearing some of his old Air Jordans. Those are, what are those, like the third iteration?
This is the Air Jordan 3s, yeah.
Yeah.
They just re-released these. They're called the Air Jordan 3 Reimagines.
Is that what those are? Or
yeah.
Those are clean looking, man.
They're brand new.
I loved the original 3s.
Yeah, so this is the closest thing to the original 3s that they've made after all these releases over the years.
Yeah.
So they even, I don't know if you see the bottoms, how they have a little bit of like that yellowing.
Yeah.
So they kind of give it like a pre-aged look to it.
Yeah.
To make it look like it was.
Like an OG.
An OG.
Yeah.
But I love that.
That's cool.
I don't know what you call that, a print or whatever, the grayish, like
they call it the elephant print.
Is that what it is? Yeah. Elephant print?
Yeah.
But I never had Air Jordans growing up.
Mm-hmm.
I always wanted them. All of my friends would have them, and I never got them. Like I was the hand-me-down kid in my family. So like I was the youngest. I always got the jeans that had been put away for 3 or 4 years, and then the shoes and all that stuff. And then if I got shoes, they were always generally like, if they weren't for my sports, I would get the lower end, stuff.
It was always a deal with me and my mom. Like, she was like, I was an only child and didn't have any brothers or sisters. So she was like, listen, you bring home this report card, whatever, you can get these sneakers, but this is probably going to be your only pair for like the year.
Yeah.
So make them last. Take care of them. So, in that regard, it was kind of cool because I worked to earn them. And then when I got them, I would wear them to school, and then I'd come back and I'd clean them and like make sure. And I think my first pair were the Jordan 4s. Then I got the 5s, and I think I got the 6s. And then I started just getting like other brands or other like different Nikes. But I always had
Did you ever get the Shaq pumps?
No, but I did have I don't know if you even remember this shoe. Remember David Robinson?
I remember
of the
David
Spurs.
Robinson. Yeah.
He had his own Nike shoe where it was like super, super high top. And it was like this electric green and kind of like splatter black paint on the bottom.
I probably remember it if I saw it.
And it had a huge tongue with a pump on it.
Yeah.
Those are the first pumps I had.
Wow.
I had the Reebok pumps, the OG Reebok pumps.
Yeah.
Well, weren't those Shaqs, or were they just called pumps?
I think they were just
They had
called
pumps, and then Shaq came out with his own. He had the most popular one is the Shaq Gnosis. That's the shoe that has like the circular pattern, so it looks like you're being hypnotized.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I remember like wearing a pair of those one time and feeling the pump.
Yeah.
Like, it was a gimmick, but it was whatever.
Cool. I know I wanted a pair really bad, and my parents were like, "They're too much money, no." And I was like whining around to my dad and stuff, and he's like, "If you hit a home run in baseball, I'll get you a pair." And I swear to God, next up at the plate, I fucking cracked a home run.
There you go.
And he was kind of like, "Damn it, I got to buy a pair now."
World's biggest backfire.
Yeah.
There you go.
He can't be upset about it though, because he got to watch you hit a home run.
Right. Yeah. So it was
I mean,
bittersweet.
Yeah, that's funny. I remember I was in a travel team in baseball, and I was in probably the biggest slump I'd ever had in baseball.
Yeah.
And I had woken up. We were in the finals, the championship, and we were playing on it was a field that wasn't the regular length. It was a little short in the left field, and based on just where it was sitting. And I woke up with a kink in my neck that day. Mm-hmm. And so to look over my shoulder at the pitches was painful.
Yeah.
And so I couldn't hit a curveball to save my life. And the guy pitching against me knew that. And so the first two pitches were a curveball, strike one, strike two. I'm down 0-2. My coach calls timeout, walks me up the line, and he's just like, listen. and so our big hitter batted right before me. I was in the 5 spot. So because I was really fast, but I hit more for not for power, but for just position.
That was me. When I played, I was always in the top 3 in the lineup, just because I was never a big power hitter, obviously, but I would just do. I could get on base, and I was fast.
Well, and that was the thing. I started the year number 1, but then because of my slump, I'd gone down to 5, and then so they figured if Aaron, who went before me, cleared the bases, I could start it all over again, and because he'd hit home runs all the time, and so they walked him, put him on first base. We were down by 1, and I'm down 0-2. The coach, who happens to be the guy who's on first base's dad, comes over and says, "Hey, what does that tell you?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I'm young. He's like, "Well, they just walked him, and you're the winning run, so they must not think much of you."
Yeah.
They were willing to not give a chance to that guy hitting the tying run to get to you, who could possibly hit the game-winning run. Uh-huh. And I'm like, well, shit, yeah, I didn't even think about that,
Yeah.
And so I'm
trying to get you fired up.
Yeah, obviously. And it worked. I was pissed. So I get back up to the plate, and I'm not even thinking about hitting at this point. I'm just pissed off, And so the next pitch, he doesn't throw a curve. I think he thought that they were probably telling me, hey,
He's going to throw another.
he's going to throw another curve. Right. So I wasn't even thinking about that. And so the ball comes in. It's a fastball, and I just jacked it out of the park.
Nice.
And so I hit it. And so the worst part about it, it was awesome. It was the most amazing feeling ever. It's the only time I'd ever done that to win a game in baseball. And I'm coming around the bases, and they're all waiting for me at home plate, and they're all just jumping on me, and my neck. I'm like, it was like the bittersweet celebration because my
Don't
neck.
hit my neck. Don't hit my neck.
Like it was horrible because they're jumping on my neck, and I'm just like, oh my God, guys, stop.
Yeah.
It was miserable, but awesome at the same time.
Yeah.
So, but So what all you been up to? You've been on any trips anytime recently?
Yeah, actually, I got flown out to Jack Daniel's by Jack Daniel's. They flew me out to taste their new 10 and 12 year expressions,
really?
Which was
I know. I got my eye on that 12 year.
Now, did you get to walk out with those too, or
no? They gave us media samples after the fact, like they sent it to us. That's why that one day was it last week or the week before on Tuesday, everybody dropped a review on it.
Yeah.
Because all the media samples that got sent out, the embargo. See, sometimes when you get media samples from...
You have to stay silent until a certain day.
Yeah, you got to stay silent until a certain day and time. So everything dropped at like 10 a.m. on Tuesday, and then everyone's reviews came out. But I got to go there and try and experience and see the distillery, walk around with Chris Fletcher, Lexi Phillips, the master distiller and assistant master distiller, respectively. Tour the entire facility, see how it's made. But the one thing that I really appreciate about Jack Daniel's is the amount of transparency that they give you.
Yeah.
And you just, you don't expect that from such a gigantic brand.
Well, they're huge. They're the biggest selling, right?
They're usually in the top 3 biggest seller whiskey brands in the world every single year.
Yeah.
Usually it's like 1 or 2.
Yeah. That's crazy.
But
yeah, that's pretty cool.
So you know how like most places have one giant column still?
Yeah.
They have like 12 of them.
Oh my
Are you serious?
Yeah, because they have to pump out. Dude, they're trying to supply the entire universe.
Right.
With old number 7.
When you think about it, everyone sings about Jack Daniel's, right? There's all these like, you know what I mean? It's probably one of the most well-known whiskeys. Everybody knows what Jack Daniel's is.
But they took us to the warehouses. We saw the history, the fermentation. I got to light the maple coal on fire. That's ricks,
cool, yeah.
And they have this giant. I don't even know what you call it. It's basically like a giant exhaust fan that they light. They stack up all the coal, the wood, the maple wood stacks, and they stack it in a way where it's almost collapsing in on itself. It's like angled in.
Yeah.
So when it burns down, it all just kind of comes down that way instead of out.
Right.
And then the best part was the gas can that they use. It's not really gas. It's filled with Jack Daniel's whiskey. And on the can on the side, it says "Whiskey for Destruction." And I was like, "That's the best band name ever."
That is a cool band name.
Yeah.
Whiskey
So they actually have fire marshal brigade that works at Jack Daniel's, and these guys are in charge of making the maple wood, making the charcoal, I should say. And he's like, "Okay, we're gonna light it here. You're gonna spray here. Just keep spraying it until it kind of starts going on its own in the middle." I was like, all right. So I'm sitting here just like spraying it.
Did you get any video of that?
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Yeah, the thing just went, it just like took off. And then it takes a good amount of time for it to burn all the way down into coal. So they have like a time lapse video of it right there. It's pretty cool how they make it. We kind of went through it, tasted it. He's like, you want to lick the coal? We can lick it. He's like, our charcoal is additive. Like, I'm sorry, it's subtractive. Like you always say, it's not additive. He's like, you lick it if you want. It's not going to taste like anything, but it might make your tongue black. And then we went to the fermentation. We went to the lab, saw like where they use the cultures and how they create all the yeast strains and how they constantly. Anything and everything that you can ask, they told you.
That's cool.
Pretty
crazy.
crazy.
It was intense. So they took us into the warehouse, and we were able to try the 12-year right out of the barrel.
Oh,
first.
that's cool. Yeah.
They were so funny,
What's
too.
the bottled proof for that?
107.
And then what was it out of the barrel?
We don't know because
You didn't get a chance to hydrometer.
they didn't do anything like that. Yeah, Chris Fletcher was funny. Chris and Lex were both like, we didn't get to try this barrel, so we don't know if it's going to be that great or not. I'm like, yeah, like it's not going to be good. Come on.
Right.
So they're like thieving it, and it had lost a lot of angel share because it was really it was down low. I would say it's less than half at that point
Damn.
for 12 years. We filled the bottle and we were trying it, and we were like, Jesus, this is. I don't know if you guys got a chance to try Coy Hill.
No.
So Coy Hill is.
I may have had it at your house. Possibly.
I think you did,
But I've never seen that or Sinatra or anything for sale anywhere.
But Coy Hill is like whiskey. It's like Jack Daniel's extract, like with a super high proof.
Yeah.
This 12-year was kind of like that without all the fiery proof to it. But it just the amount of flavor it had was intense. And then we got to try it cut down to 107. And it really did keep a lot of the flavors that we tasted right out of the barrel, which is really cool. We got to taste the White Dog pre maple.
That's cool.
Pre Lincoln County process, and then after.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, that's a cool idea.
So how does that taste? Like the White Dog beforehand? Is it? I mean,
the White Dog is just what you would expect. It's 80% corn. It's very sweet.
I mean, it's bourbon White Dog basically.
So it's very sweet. It's a little bit harsh. It's got a lot of like buttered popcorn to it.
And is it mellowed down after?
After it goes through the Lincoln County process, the those kind of buttery notes are still there, but all of a sudden you start getting like the apple and the pear that you find in Jack Daniels, and a little bit of the banana. So whatever that Lincoln County process strips out, it brings out these other flavors into the whiskey. And I could see why people would think that it's adding flavor by doing that, but it's actually just taking out...
It's revealing flavor.
It's taking out impurities that are revealing more flavor.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right.
So...
But whatever. People were just...
I made a video on it like the week after I got back. I'm like Jack Daniels is bourbon. The debate ends now, and I literally go through every single category of.
You should have intermingled the interview you had with them, where they're like, "Yeah, we're bourbon."
I did.
Okay. I mean, because that's
and Chris Fletcher said it again, even on the trip. He's like, "We are bourbon. We could be bourbon if we wanted to." He's like, "If we decided to call ourselves bourbon next week, we could totally do it."
They'd have to make no change except for
the name.
Just the labels.
Yeah.
But they choose to be Tennessee whiskey. That's how they market
it
themselves.
gives them a unique,
gives them a unique product. It gives them a differentiator from bourbon.
But it also gives a standard that has to be met to become a Tennessee whiskey as well. So.
And it also protects the history, I think, of Tennessee whiskey going back to the 1800s with Jack Daniels and Uncle Nearest Green and that whole story, which they really celebrate. It's great. That's cool. Yeah, and I'm glad they've leaned into that story as well. That's, for sure. That's a really neat story. And if you ever go to the Uncle Nearest website, they do a good job of explaining that history. It's a pretty good. They kind of told us how Uncle Nearest. I always forget. I can't believe if it's his two nephews, or one was his son and one was a nephew. I forgot, but those three guys were basically running the stills the whole time while Jack Daniels was trying to promote his whiskey. Yeah. So he really instilled the trust in them to just make the whiskey, while he was doing all the back channel stuff to promote it. The marketing. Yeah. And how he died was pretty crazy. Jack Daniels was only they think he was 4'9" or 5 feet.
Really? I didn't know that.
He was a tiny dude. He had kind of a Napoleon complex apparently in some areas. So, quick story. They told us that he had his partner that would come into the office that would usually open the safe to do all the work of the day. And it's an old safe. The safe is still there today. You could actually go and see the safe, the actual safe. He would open the safe, and he knew the combo. And then by the time Jack Daniels would get into the office, it was already open. You didn't have to worry about it. Well, this specific day, the guy came in, did not come in beforehand for some reason. Jack Daniels beat him there to the office. He didn't know that. He couldn't open it. So what did he do? He got so pissed off and frustrated, he kicked the safe.
Oh, I think I've heard this.
Did
he
break his toe and get gangrene or something?
He broke his toe, got gangrene. Yeah. And they think because he was so little and because apparently he wasn't in the best shape, they think he was, maybe a form of a little bit of a diabetic, they think maybe. So all these combined circumstances, they took off the toe, then they took off the foot, then they actually took off his leg at some point, and then he eventually succumbed to an
infection or something.
Yeah, to an infection. I mean, story was crazy, and they still just have the safe sitting there. This is the safe that killed Jack Daniels.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I've heard that maybe I've read it somewhere, but once you started telling it, the wheels were spinning. And
me too.
This sounds real familiar.
As soon as you said he kicked it, I was like, oh, that's right. Yeah,
we got to see these old press releases too from Jack Daniels. I mean, these guys. Jack Daniels was making stuff. I mean, we're just seeing this stuff kind of reintroduced now. The 10-year, the 12-year. But they had a 14-year, 18-year, and then a 21-year. Now, I can't say or not if Jack Daniels is going to attempt to bring out these high age statements, but they said it gets harder and harder, each year because of the just the angel share. So they have to really figure out where they're going to age it if they do decide to bring out something that old.
You almost have to keep it on the bottom floors like they do at Buffalo Trace for those other. I mean,
you definitely do. That's what they say. They've been experimenting with different areas in the warehouse. It was awesome. It was and Lexi and Chris were just so cool. They took us out to dinner, to lunch.
Now, did you eat at I'm thinking of Beam. They have that table place or whatever.
For lunch, we went to Mary Bobo's, which is this iconic little restaurant, country restaurant in the middle of Lynchburg there in town. Yeah. I mean, you go downstairs and they have this big room, limestone room, and you just kind of sit and they literally serve it family style. It's fried chicken,
nice. I love that.
Fried chicken, potatoes. I mean, everything.
Speaking of which, have you ever been to the place in Nashville that's famous for their family style? It's I can never remember it when I need to recall it. But I go there all the time.
Is it the one that's across from the what the hell's the name of that hotel / restaurant?
There's two of them.
Yeah.
But there's one in like near downtown Nashville, and then there's one that's kind of out in the outskirts of Nashville, closer to the airport, I think. God, I can never remember what it's called. That's bugging the crap out of me. Modell's.
Oh yeah,
I've heard of Modell's, but
yeah.
So every time we go, I wouldn't say every time we go to Nashville, but most times when I go to Nashville, if I'm in a group and they've never really eaten, I try to get them to go to Modell's. Or Monell's. That's
Monell's. I was just gonna say Modell's is a sports store in New York.
Yeah, it's Monell's.
It's a sporting goods store.
So
Gotta go to Moe's.
But you just sit there, and they just keep bringing food out, and you can eat as much as you want. They'll just keep bringing more, but they'll bring out like a big plate of fried chicken. They'll bring out a couple of different meat. Like when we were there last time, I think they had ribs, they had fried chicken, they had ham, then like they have green beans and mashed potatoes, and the cornbread and corn casserole and all these different things. Like they also always have like a catfish or something like that too. And then they have desserts and sweet tea and biscuits, and I mean it's just tons of food.
That's basically what came out, and they were very much known for their fried okra, which is the greatest thing.
Oh
yeah, the okra.
Good.
Yeah, that's
so
another
good.
thing. Yeah.
And then they had these cinnamon apples that are spiked with Jack Daniels.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
And they don't do it like while it's cooking. They do this shit like the apples are ready, and then they just pour it on. So when it comes out and you put an apple on something, it just tastes like pure Jack Daniels.
How long does it sit with the Jack Daniels on it before they serve it?
I don't know. We didn't ask, but
Was it long?
I don't think long.
Well, because I wonder, like, if it sits there for a while, then the alcohol will go right into the over time.
It tasted like it.
That's crazy. That's like the old Harry Buffalo stuff. You let it sit in that bucket for a while, and
get some fruit flies.
The best part, after we'd have Harry Buffalo parties at Ohio State, the girls would fill their glasses up, and then they'd think they were being smart by just sitting there eating the fruit.
Yeah.
And they were getting trashed because they had no idea. We'd let it sit overnight, and all the alcohol would end up in the fruit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like people didn't realize that's the fruit soaks up the alcohol overnight, and it just they would get there'd be little red splotches in the grass the next day from all the puking. It was so funny.
Yeah, it was such a cool experience because I had never been to Jack before. So
you've never been to Jack?
I had never been to. I'd never been there before. I've been in Nashville obviously a bunch of times.
How far from Nashville is it? Is that where you had to fly into, or where did you fly?
Where did I fly into? Yeah, I did fly into Nashville. Yep, and then we stayed at the we had the hotel. Then early in the morning they put us in a car. And I think it was about 45 minutes.
So you stayed in Nashville, and then
stayed in Nashville.
Yep. Nice. Yeah, I've always passed it on 65. I think on the way south. I just had never stopped there before, so I've never.
Yeah, they took us to some killer restaurant that had some just amazing Jack Daniels picks that we got to try. And
really.
Yeah, it was quite the 3 days.
That's cool. Also 3 days.
Yeah. Well, you fly in Monday, and they take you to dinner. Tuesday is the entire day.
Yeah.
At Jack Daniels, and then then Wednesday, we wake up, we just kind of headed to the airport. So.
Wow. Nice. So that was a nice 20-minute intro, I think. What do you have in store for us today, Jason?
So I wanted to build a fun blind, just like knowing your palates. Got some pretty cool stuff I think that you'll be stuff that I've gotten to try this year that's always usually been not impressive, that's been impressing me this year. So
stuff that's normally unimpressive for you, but this year happens to be a little more impressive.
A little bit more impressive.
Okay. Interesting. I like that.
Well, two of them are definitely that, and the other two are, one is something unique, and the other one is, I just want to get your take on it. But
all right. Well, I like the build up on that. This is a cool theme.
This is great.
Yeah, theme. That's the word I'm looking for.
It's kind of a cool theme. So, you guys ready? You want the first one?
Yeah.
Why not?
I mean, this is probably the longest we've ever gone without a whiskey in our hands.
I mean, it's top three for sure.
And don't mind Banks. You're just going to have to frog hop over him. He's like, I'm not moving, guys.
This is my house.
So while he's getting that ready, not to bring it down a note, but haven't really talked about this on the air yet. On Friday, just found out that Banks has lung cancer. So he had gotten a torn ACL, started puking up some blood. We thought it was from his anti-inflammatory and maybe an ulcer, but We had to take him to MedVet on Friday. Spent the day there. They did some scans of his stomach and just happened to catch something on the edge of the scan in his lungs. And then they scanned his lungs and found a big tumor and a whole bunch of little tumors. So they don't know what his expectation is, but they put him on some prednisone, and he's back to puppy status right now, I'll say.
I saw him bounce around a little bit earlier.
Yeah, so he's definitely milking it. He's hanging around as much as he can. We've been taking him to the gym, doing things that he loves. Like, he loves to go to the gym and just lay at the garage door and just look out the door.
Yeah.
And so we've taken him there like 3 times since then, and we've been letting him walk off leash. And his little stubborn ass, he'll just do whatever the hell he wants. But he doesn't do it fast because he's getting older. So he's not like trotting off like he used to, but he's just ignoring you.
Right.
He's a good boy.
Yeah, he is. He's a good boy. So introduce us here. What do we got?
Well, they can't tell us
I'm
what
not
it
gonna
is.
tell you what it is.
But whatever you would like to say before we taste this.
I got that butter note.
So this is a bourbon that is normally I've said through the years that this bourbon's probably one of the more overpriced, overhyped type bourbons that I've come across, but people seem to go crazy for it. And I've never had a bottle that's been worth it until 2023, until this one.
Interesting.
Because this one is way older than the age would indicate.
I tell you, it's got
That's
a
all
nose
I'm
on it that's really trying to catch my attention.
That's all,
I know.
that's
And
all
it
I'm going to
smells
tell
familiar,
you.
and I cannot think of.
I'm not going to. Oh, there's cherry. I just got cherry in there.
This is a deep, rich cherry.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of stuff.
There's a lot of stuff
there's
going
Each
some
time I go in,
vanilla,
I get a
there's some
little something different.
Yeah. I'm definitely with you. The butter is there, the butter.
That's what hit me first, and then like second big whiff was like a dark cherry, like you said.
The
It's like
cherry,
a-
now that I know the cherry's there, I can't get away from
It's
it.
a brown butter for sure.
That brown butter is the first thing I smelled. That's what I couldn't think of. I was like, gosh, something smells. It was the brown butter. You're right. But the cherry, now that that's there, I'm having trouble getting past that now.
It's got a good amount of oak to it too.
I'm not
Which is
getting
nice.
I'm not getting any oak right now.
I get something with age. If I hold it back a little further.
I'm throwing my nose in there. That's probably the problem then. Well, as we treat our
Is that
guests
like
to
a-
a little
I know.
ASMR,
Yeah.
heavy breathing.
Yeah, whiskey ASMR.
All right, I'm diving into this.
Yeah. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Hits me in the back of the tongue first,
Yep.
and then it almost like traveled to the front of the tongue, unless I was holding it in my mouth weird.
It kind of went both directions for me. Like, it came forward and exploded. There was a big burst.
That cherry comes through on the palate for me.
Damn.
Yeah, when I tasted this first time, I was like, this is not what I expected.
Does this normally have this much cherry in it? I'm just getting a lot of cherry.
It's cherry-ish on some of them, but I don't think the ones that preceded this release have been nearly this flavorful and this rich. And that's what kind of blew me away about this. Like, if you gave this to me and told me what it was, I wouldn't believe you. Based on what I've had. I'm like, there's no way that's what that is.
Second drink, some oak is coming through.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so confused.
Oh,
Proof tastes like maybe 100? I don't know. It doesn't taste.
Is this an LTO type of a deal that they do every year, or what is this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Comes out every year.
Is this
Well,
this is this year's version of it?
I'll give you one hint. This bottle was skipped last year. It didn't come out last year. They skipped a year, and it's not Stag.
I was like, that's not going to help me.
It's not Stag.
This is good.
It just gets better and better.
It does.
And better. The more you dive into it, the more it opens up. If you had to guess an age on this, what would you guys think?
I'm going to say 12. But you kind of like led me into that a little bit. You know what I mean? And so that might be.
I don't know that I taste age much on this, but because you've given us a little bit of a, I'm finding it, if that makes sense. I think the cherry to me is so prevalent.
I think the spice on this is actually more of like a tannic oak thing rather than like a spice. Okay. And that's why I think where the age is lying for me.
I think that's why I'm getting it. I'm getting it in.
So there's something similar to me. The 10-year from Luxro, Rebel 10-year, that single barrel. There's the age on that reminds me of the age on this. I don't know how. I'm guessing this isn't weeded by any means, but I know that's weeded. But just the age of it. There's something similar to the age is what it reminds me of.
Well, it's extremely rich. Especially, like you said, I think it was a good call. I think you're in the zone of the proof, but even at that proof point, it's got a lot of richness to it. And it really just blew me away. I'm like, this is the best one I've had. Like hands down from this particular distillery.
I'm assuming you're revealing at the end, or are you revealing as we go?
At the end, I'll reveal.
Okay.
This way you guys can kind of have like an unbiased, like what do you like, what you don't like.
I'm like, I should probably just save a little piece of that.
Yeah. So.
It's very good.
That's one of those just sit down and enjoy like the entire
this is something
night.
I could drink.
Absolutely.
That's what I was getting ready to say. This is something I could just keep drinking.
Yeah.
And it's kind of scary because if it's in that 100 range, I feel like this could really sneak up on you.
Yeah.
At the end of the night.
Yeah.
I'm really intrigued. This is.
I'm always intrigued by the shit that you bring.
Me too. But this is good. And you're right, like this, and you know what I like about this? You know how sometimes when you get the cherry, it's almost like a medicinal cherry. This doesn't come off as a medicinal cherry to me.
Yeah.
It comes off as just a regular cherry.
Like a Luxardo cherry.
Luxardo cherry, yeah. But it's not medicinal at all. It's sometimes that medicinal to me almost seems like synthetic, if that makes sense.
Yeah, artificial for me.
Yeah, artificial is probably the better word. But I'll tell you, this tastes like a natural kind of cherry flavor to me, and this is interesting. I'm so intrigued by this.
Yep. I'll get you the next one.
Yeah, jeez, this is crazy. And this is the first one he brought out too.
Did you see Tyler's message?
Yeah.
What happened to Tyler?
He got held up at the veterinarian. It looks like. I'm assuming that's what he means at the vet now.
And by held up, you meant mugged.
Yes.
He's asking if we could hold some back for him.
Only if you spit in one of them.
Okay. So okay.
Thank you.
All right. Your flight is poured.
We will drink if you do not show.
I'll definitely be retrying that second one if he doesn't come. These pours are hefty. I'm not going to complain about these pours.
I'm not gonna jip you.
Well, I'm not going to jip you.
He's got an eyedropper
with my own, collection.
Yeah,
sharing my own collection. If you would have given me half this, I would have been okay.
Oh, whatever, dude. I'm not measuring. I can't drink it all myself. So just shut up and drink.
Friday night he wanted to measure, but here he's not measuring.
There's another shirt. Shut up and drink.
Ooh,
that could be the next bourbon trip,
bad.
right? That we do the 5th annual bourbon trip.
Yeah.
On the sleeve, you could just put "Shut up and drink."
No, I think we just put it right on the front. Get rid of the Bourbon Trail Blitz thing and just put "Shut up and drink." Maybe put that in small.
So the next one is another special release. Different type of. This release is a. What can I say here?
This nose doesn't jump out as much.
Not
as much.
It doesn't. But I will say, in actuality, it's actually a higher proof.
Oh.
I
don't get that at all.
Yeah.
So let me back up for you guys. That first one was so heavy in the cherry.
And the butter.
In the butter.
And the butter. Don't forget the butter.
That I feel like I'm actually getting a decent amount on this, I feel like, and I'm trying to wade through it. It doesn't feel super muted to me because I feel like that one was so overwhelming with just cherry. I feel like I'm getting some subtle stuff of a few things on this now.
Let me smell your fingers to reset my nose.
Smell my finger.
It's just going to smell like bangs.
Smell my big toe.
I was like, did I sneak that past you guys?
This one to me comes off a little bit like sweet tobacco leaf.
Man, I wish I was getting
that. So that's what I was going to say was not necessarily those notes, but I'm getting something a little more earthy slash age type notes versus that where the cherry was just so overwhelming. I wasn't getting much out of it except for the cherry.
Maybe once I take a sip, I'll get that. I'm not getting hardly anything on the nose.
But yeah, I am getting, and I was not going to come up with it myself, but thank you. Tobacco and oak, I'd say, are probably some maybe leather.
And what's weird is this distillery on the palate to me, it's very on and off profile at the same time. It's weird.
Okay.
But that's my palate.
That gives me nothing.
You guys might taste it and be like, "Oh, I know what this is."
It's exactly like it should be, but it's different.
I'm never good at picking shit out.
It's exactly what it is, but it's not.
Oh man.
Oh. So there's a little spice on the back end, but there's really good that tobacco on the front end. Cigar
Tobacco on the front end, like crazy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The finish, the finish surprisingly kind of doesn't stay long for me.
And the finish to me is weird because this is a note I don't normally get with this distillery, which is a lot of citrus. I get an orange peel on the back of this, like orange lemon, on the very, very end, which is weird. It's not something I usually get from this particular distillery.
So, to me, this just smacked me in the face on the front of the tongue.
Yeah, same.
Immediately. Because of it, how strong it was on the front of the tongue, I didn't get much of a finish, but it did linger, if that makes sense. Like the finish wasn't strong, but it stayed there.
Oh, it stayed.
But it stayed there.
It's got this what I call it the Pop Rocks effect. It's kind of like that lingering.
Yeah.
This kind of hangs around.
So
it doesn't really get into your chest. Just kind of.
It wasn't
right
super
there.
strong, but it stayed and it lingered.
It's a nice. I don't know. I like this.
Gosh, and
I like this release, but I don't like what I paid for it. Let's just say that.
Well, I hear that.
Yeah.
I get the orange now on the nose. Now that I've had a drink,
I get more of the citrus more like the lemon lime on the nose as opposed to the citrus.
Yeah, lemon lime's that's a good way to put it too. Maybe that's what it is on the back end. Maybe it's like Sprite.
maybe.
There you
It's
go.
like
yeah.
bubbly lemon lime
Sprite,
soda.
Yeah.
Maybe. Stupid
But
power
it's-
of suggestion.
Front of the tongue is all tobacco, even like a vanilla tobacco a little
Yeah,
bit.
like a
Just what's
sweet, like a very sweet
yeah.
tobacco.
Like a flavored tobacco, like a
Banksy.
God, that
Those
tobacco,
backwoods
the
cigars,
yeah.
those little like vanilla backwoods.
Or I was thinking like the pouch stuff.
Oh yeah.
And it's funny, like you go back to the nose and it's just getting more earthy to me, which is interesting.
Yeah, so to me on the tongue, it tastes like. So my dad used to chew tobacco when we would golf, and every time he would open up that pouch, there was that whip. That's what I'm getting on the front of the tongue.
Could totally see that.
Which one do you like better is the question.
I like them both a lot.
That's not what I asked you.
I know, damn it, shut up. I'm gonna have to go back and forth between them once we get them out there because I think I like them both for different reasons.
Until you have the third one. Shut up.
Oh fuck me.
The third one is the. Well, when I'll bring it out, I'll tell you what I think of the third one.
This is always so much fun. The reveal is the best part. Of
Right, it is, and what irritates me is
I need like a little drum set, like.
these are things he's just like bringing to us that he just has, and they're things that we are probably never ever going to see. That's the part that's so like hard to deal with because you get these flavors and then
Yeah. In his defense, we picked a 2-year Tennessee whiskey though, so I can't blame you for.
no Texas.
Oh yeah, Texas. I'm sorry, 2 year Texas
Over
whiskey.
a 14year hazmat MGP.
I
bro.
know.
But
I
you
don't
know
know
what?
you guys were doing.
That was a 14-year.
It might have been just that day.
But I like this one a lot better.
But it wasn't
Kick
bad.
my own ass.
That Texas was good though.
It was good.
And they could have been that day too, but
But then we put it in the
Yeah.
final blind.
And
You
it
guys
did
were
shit.
like,
This is terrible.
right.
it immediately came out, and maybe it was the order that we
It
drank them in,
absolutely was.
because it immediately came out in the finals as
Hot.
youthful,
Yeah.
hot, and very, very Texasy, like very, very heavy with the oak. I felt like we were like the wool was, pulled over our eyes when we did the first. I don't know. There was just something about it. It
If
was
the
weird.
hazmat had like a drop of water in it, I think I would have maybe like gravitated to it more.
I'll be honest. I really did think that hazmat would be a lot better
What was that
than
one?
what it was. That was the 4-gate.
It's like 140
Oh, the 4-gate,
proof,
that's
though.
right.
It was
It was
140
right.
something proof, 14
Yeah.
years old, MGP. I just thought it was going to be a lot richer in flavor. I think it really took on.
Damn it,
This is evolving for me. The more I drink it,
It
the more
does.
it evolves in my mouth, and like
Which is
knows it too.
which is a typical thing that happens with these releases.
Well, and it's a thing that I was just talking about this last night when we were talking to Virgil Kane, and
Yeah.
I love bourbons that evolve as you drink them, or whiskeys in general.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a bourbon, but
I'm-
when they evolve, and that's
I might have
what
an
makes
idea.
me
I
go
don't
back
know.
to them. Like I want to keep drinking them throughout the evening because every drink you find something new, or it changes a little bit, as you go through the night, and I love that.
I'm gonna get the third one because I can't wait for Brett to try this.
Oh shit!
Oh, fuck
I
yes.
gotta rinse because
yeah. I have an idea on the second one that I'm not going to say. I'm probably completely wrong.
I have no idea on any of these.
It's just a guess.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to make some guesses before we do this.
I don't know why I feel this way about what I think it is. It doesn't fucking matter. Thank you. I know I say that every time. I'm like, oh.
So this bourbon is, I think, the best product that's ever been made by this particular label.
Oh my
It's a
god!
bold statement.
You're killing me.
This
Yeah.
is floral all day on the nose for me. Did you get floral? Did you get me the right thing?
Well, you got to taste it. Yeah, I could see
Do you get
floral.
floral?
I could see floral. Just something I really didn't get up in the beginning.
To me, for some reason, it just smells like a spring flower to me. Maybe it's just where I've got my nose.
Oh yeah, wait till you taste it.
Damn it!
Damn, he already went in. I gotta go.
I'm not getting.
The nose, you're not going to get much. You have to taste it. Exactly.
That like melts
I feel like
That,
I'm
like,
almost getting like a
melts down my
marshmallow
tongue.
in the nose,
the palate.
That's a really good call.
and I think that's why it's so
And there's-
subtle on
and
the
there's a
nose because
reason-
marshmallow is subtle.
And there's a reason why you're getting that, which we'll get into once we find out what it is.
It's
Like
like,
a
you
toasted or
melted
something?
a marshmallow in my mouth.
Yep.
And it's like melting down the sides of my tongue.
Oh, what the fuck!
Right?
Now is this a
This
bourbon?
viscosity is killer on this.
Oh man,
There's
That
something.
is, I could like chew this. You literally can fucking chew this.
it's chewy. It's dense.
It
I
is
get,
dense.
I get
That's
like
a
this.
great word.
I
It's
get
dense.
this chocolate coffee bean note
Chocolate
on the very back
like
end
a
of it,
vanilla coffee.
on the finish.
bean.
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
latte.
Yes.
Like yeah,
Oh yeah.
I mean, that says vanilla bean there. But I just swear I really was thinking vanilla
No,
bean.
no, no. But the latte, the chocolate, like
See, now when I go back to the nose, that latte note is there, like a mocha latte.
Yep,
whatever.
mocha latte.
yeah, the marshmallow's gone for me now.
but this thing is. I think this is the best product.
This is
that
really
they've
dark,
made.
too.
Yeah, it's super dark.
Some chocolatey in there now, too.
What are we looking at? Proofy here? Is this a high proofer?
I feel like one teeny.
Not as high as you would think.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, you're,
One teens?
you're right in the
That's what it
ballpark.
reminds
It's
me
about a
of.
one teeny.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah, it's a one
I
teeny.
feel like that's my wheelhouse. I've kind of evolved to the one teen. Seem to be my favorites.
But every time you take a sip of this, there's
Damn,
just
there's
something,
something
else.
about and I could be way in left field here, but there's something about
Oh man.
Woodford Reserve, very fine, very rare, that reminds me of this. That's making me think maybe this is their new Woodford
I haven't.
that
visited
just came
that in
out
a
this
long
year.
time.
I don't know, but that's
No, because that thing is shit. I want to bring you that.
is it? Is it?
It's just not. It's all right.
I haven't had it, so but there's something
I
Woodfordy
reviewed-
about this. That
I reviewed
kinda,
it. It's a. It's. I mean, the low entry barrel proof thing. I get it, but they went into the barrel. I think at 100. Was it 100 proof, which is the idea.
That's really low.
The idea was to go in at
Yeah, it
what
is.
they did. Back in the way back when they were drinking it, when they were buying it from the barrel, so they had to go in a lower entry proof, so you're not blowing someone's palate out.
Yeah.
Because it was made to be to drink. So by the time it finished aging, you're looking at proofs in the low hundreds to at the highest maybe like 110. So they did this low entry proof, historic barrel entry proof, and
How old is it?
that's the thing they don't tell you.
Oh,
So this
And it's also
so
still
this
at
isn't-
90. It's also still 90.4 proof.
Oh,
like
did
everything
they do a
else.
90.4?
Yeah.
Then never mind. This
I'm
definitely
like-
tastes higher than that.
I'm like, just go buy Michter's.
So this isn't
just
a
go
Woodford
buy,
then?
No, I'm like, just go buy Michter's small batch. It's 104 entry proof.
right.
Like, why do you need to buy $160 for a Woodford?
Yeah, Michter's is a good, like, for that reason. Like, they just get that, they keep that viscosity. They don't have to cut it down as much.
This is fantastic.
This is just
you know what
so
this smells like now?
rich.
This is rich. Yeah, that's a good word. I liked your word dense earlier.
It's very dense.
I like
it's
that
very rich.
word.
It's very dense.
So I was way off with Woodford apparently, but this had something that reminded me of the very fine old rare, whatever it's called.
I could see that because that had a very sweet toffee type of note to it, which I think this has as well.
This smells like a campfire now.
I love that Jason like saves my ass when I totally miss on something.
Yeah, you're gonna get some smoke to it,
Yeah.
and I'll also tell you
Yeah.
why for that too. This is the way that this is constructed, the way that this is made and blended will tell you a lot about some of these notes that you're getting.
Blended. Is this like
yeah.
a barrel? Is this a barrel? Craft spirits or whatever they call it.
We'll see.
It's early times bottled and bond. So that's what it is.
Every one of these is. I left
expressions.
my Old Forester 100 at his house. Every one of these is Old Forester 100.
Yeah, it's Old Forester 100 that I put in one of those tiny barrels, and I just keep.
Get a little.
One was at 2
different-
weeks, one was 4 weeks, and one was.
That would be actually funny to do to us.
I sure hope it is because that's super cheap. You get all kinds of that.
And I'm happy with all these.
Dude, we should do an episode and like totally experiment with that.
That would be cool.
Get a small barrel.
We were going to do that with
Fill it.
oak bottle,
Yeah.
but those guys pissed me off.
Yeah.
I followed their directions. I got it for Christmas. I was so excited. Put some stuff in there, and immediately it split down the middle.
And it like leaked out too.
And it, it lost everything.
You hydrated it and everything?
I hydrated it, but then I called their support, and they're like, "Oh, there was nothing really." But then I looked online, and it's like, "Oh yeah, use the wood tar, whatever it was that they shipped." I didn't have any of that. My stuff came with nothing, so I blasted them on social media, and then the owner. The owner reaches out to me and says, "Man, that's not cool." Like, I'm like, "Listen, I've reached out to your support. It got nothing. I did this." I'm like, "But you'll reply to my social media post?" He's like, "Well, and he goes back and he finds my trouble ticket, and then he tries to blame me for the trouble ticket." I'm like, "Buddy, you're not doing very good right now." I was like, "You're not making a customer. I'll tell you that right now." I ended up deleting my post because he sent me a new oak bottle, but and it came with the stuff it was supposed to originally come with.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Just find a good barrel, and it'd be cool to just kind of, once you hydrate it,
throw
get a few bottles of Old Forester 100, fill it, and then do
Take
some
it out at different
samples
times.
at different times, and then eventually do an episode to see how it changed.
That's a good idea.
As much as we love Old Forester 100, I think that would actually be a pretty cool episode.
absolutely.
That'd be pretty cool.
Episode.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
You still have the new bottle?
Yeah.
The one that he sent you? Well, I didn't know if you tried with something else.
Who sent me?
The oak bottle. You said they sent you a new bottle.
I'm not going to use that. I'll use a barrel.
Oh, okay.
I'll use something.
Yeah, get a barrel.
Where they actually know what
get
they're
like a
doing.
charred barrel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fill it up.
Tyler gave you that small barrel too.
Yeah, it's sitting right back there.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it'll hold a whole bottle or not. I don't know.
Well, I've got to buy two. It's only $20-something. So.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think of this one? Compared to the other two, how you feeling about that
I think it's my winner right now.
Yeah, right
for
now.
me.
It's really good, isn't it?
Absolutely, it's good. Yeah.
All right.
Again,
the last one's going to be...
I think this has the most going on.
Yeah.
So, complexity-wise, this is my winner. But for sitting down and drinking for an entire evening, I think I could do 1 and 2 a little bit more.
For sure.
But this one, holy shit! There's some chocolate now. I'm really getting
The chocolate
Yeah,
really comes
same.
out.
at the end.
That floral note they got at the
All right.
beginning, gone. I
It's
don't know
gone.
where that came from, but
Yeah, I don't know where you got that. I never got
I don't
that.
know. It was at the very beginning.
Maybe
but then
because it
once
was so subtle of a nose.
maybe.
Hey, real quick, how many more you got?
One for the blind,
Okay,
then one
just for shits and
for
giggles. Okay,
giggles and shit.
so we got one more for the blind. We didn't actually cover this beforehand. That's why I wasn't sure what we were in for.
Yeah, no, I didn't either.
And then we got a shits and giggle, like he always does. A shits and giggle bottle.
Which I'm assuming we'll do review of the 4.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then we'll
And
do.
then yeah, that's my preference. That way it separates. Oh, this looks dark.
Awesome, thank you.
You about face planted when you were handing this to me. I feel like.
Yeah, I got Banks's bed jumped up and bit me.
I saw it. It grabbed your ankle.
Yeah, he did.
It did. But like I grabbed that, I felt like as you were falling and you caught yourself just at the last second.
Yeah.
It's the Nike Jordan 2 retros. Threes reimagined.
Yeah.
They caught the carpet a little too strong.
I definitely have a sneaker and whiskey problem. It's not the cheapest hobbies to have.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah. But at least your whiskey problem kind of pays for itself. I mean, to some degree.
Yeah, to some degree.
You should start doing some sneaker reviews on your show, and maybe you can get a sneaker.
I just don't know enough. There's a guy that I watch, Wear Testers, and he reviews everything, and he knows. That guy knows every single thing about every release ever. So it's like I couldn't even compete with the guy.
Of like all sneakers or like
everything.
A specific brand?
Everything.
Okay.
Like he knows the detail of each and every sneaker. What is missing in like this year's release versus the first one that came out like back in the 80s. I mean, the guy is an absolute encyclopedia.
It makes you wonder like what started it, like what provoked him to go down, you know what I mean, this knowledge quest of learning everything about every shoe.
He knows. It's crazy.
Man. All right.
So last one here.
This is definitely the darkest.
Yep.
It's got like a copper
it's
look to it.
It's like a dark.
It's not just like
copper.
amber. It's like a copper.
Dark golden honey.
Ooh, golden honey. I like that. Is he giving us a hint? Is this a honey barrel?
I smell molasses in this.
Yes.
Yeah, there's some molasses. Definitely like a burnt brown sugar type of, yeah.
So this barrel is a surprise.
All right.
This
barrel.
I'm saying like as a
this barrel.
When we tried it, when I tried it for the first time, I'm like, what the hell is this? And it's from a distillery that I would never think in a million years would produce something like this, but they did, and I was
Dickel?
like,
"This isn't the one that you had sent to you, is it? That you said that you talked about before. That's the one we're doing last, right?
That's the one we're doing last.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not this one yet.
Okay.
This was a like. Is
hey, this still in the theme of?
This was a distillery that said, "Hey, we got some weird shit by accident. Do you want to try this?" Sent me some, and I'm like, "This is ridiculous." So
does this fall under the theme of things that don't normally impress you, but did this round?
This one does not. This one's
a little different.
Maybe this one I would say impressed me because I had no idea what to expect, and I was like, I did not expect it to be this.
So
good.
Still kind of you didn't expect it to be,
because I've had their other stuff,
right,
which was mainly rye whiskeys, and then they sent this, and I'm like, what the hell? So there's a cool story to this one too. So
I'm pretty pumped about the reveal.
Yeah,
on all these.
Same.
God.
Yeah.
This tastes like a rye.
When's the last time we went to Jason's house? Was that before our trip?
I think it's when we did the end of the bourbon blind.
The 4 blind mice or whatever.
Yeah, I think that's the last time we were there.
Yeah.
This is your house. This has spice.
That's why I said I think it drinks like a rye all of a
It's
sudden.
spicy, but it's also a little bit more savory. This to me is a cinnamon bomb. I get a ton of cinnamon on this, and I love it. A lot of dark fruit too.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
So to me, holy cow.
Yep.
On the nose, I felt like I got some corn.
Mm-hmm.
But then, which a lot of times to me makes me think youthful. But then, like the color tells me otherwise.
Yeah.
And either that or it's like 150 proof or something. But like,
there is a lot of cinnamon
but
spice.
then
in this for sure.
when I took a drink of it, I got no corn.
I get no corn.
I got cinnamon, and it's the cinnamon probably that you actually like.
I do like a warm vanilla cinnamon.
Yeah.
So
that's a good descriptor. Vanilla, warm vanilla cinnamon.
So I like this. Maker's 101 is warm vanilla cinnamon to me is how I describe it.
What you don't like is like an old Granddad 114, right?
Yeah, I don't like that cinnamon at all. Even the Weller Antique that everyone goes apeshit over, I don't really love because I don't.
You don't like that type of
that cinnamon just stands out to me so much. Like their full proof, I think is fantastic. I like the 12-year. I honestly like the Special Reserve even over the 107, just because I'm just not a big cinnamon person.
Yeah, I for that reason I get it.
Yeah,
but I completely, 100% think you're wrong.
That you're allowed. Did you see that? And I don't know if it's bullshit or not, but did you see that Reddit thing I sent you? A guy found
the Weller.
He found these 2 Wellers that were still in gold foil.
Well, the picture, they looked unopened.
Yeah, the barrel dump was 1954. and he like found them in some kind of estate or something like that.
And it was a Weller. There
was two of them.
There were two Weller. You could tell they were made in like at the old Stitzel Weller.
Yeah.
And I'll send it to you, Jason. It's a
cool read and again, I don't think the guy's trolling, but if you read the OP's post, he was like, "Hey, are these worth anything, guys? I found them. They look to be kind of old, but I don't really know." And then like you read his reaction, people were like, "Yeah, that's like, worth whatever, a couple thousands of dollars." And he's like, "Really?" And he's just like, I don't know. It's just kind of cool to see it and to see that the foil's so well preserved.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what gives me a little bit of a red flag is you're on that Reddit post. Generally speaking, you're not on that Reddit thread unless you know about bourbon. Now, maybe he searched out that Reddit thread.
He may have. He may be a Reddit person. I know I do that. I search Reddit everything.
Right. And all my buddies are Reddit heads. I don't know, whatever you call them, Redditors.
Yeah. I'm like, it burns when I pee, Reddit.
Reddit.
Redditors.
I like that. But the picture looks legit. They look like they were
untampered, yeah.
But what's interesting is, I feel like if someone was faking it, the bottles would have been filled all the way. One of them looked like there was some evaporation. The one on the left looked like it was down to the shoulder almost, and it was unopened.
Oh, really? Okay.
This is evolving.
I just sent it to you, by the way.
It's really cool.
Yeah. That's what I saw come up. Okay, cool.
This is evolving, not to change this, but
I haven't had much of this yet.
The cinnamon is going away from me because like I just said, I'm not huge on cinnamon, but the cinnamon's starting to disappear.
The viscosity on it's really good.
The viscosity is great, and then there's a sweeter note coming through, almost like an oily, like
on the
fatty,
finish?
oily.
On the finish?
I don't know how to describe it. Yeah, but it's like a good, like how like the oil and fat in a steak's really good. Mm-hmm. That I don't know why, but that's what I'm like thinking of.
Yeah, so like I think of for me it hit the back of my tongue. It blossoms after I swallow it. There's a dusty kind of a taste to it, and then once that
dusty taste,
that goes away, it blossoms out to me, and there's a whole bunch of stuff going on that I have not been able to figure out yet.
I'm glad that the cinnamon's going away. Because at first, that's all I got was cinnamon.
See, for me, I get like it turns into almost like a blueberry pie to me.
Oh wow, I didn't get that at all.
Wow, yeah, I'm gonna have to retaste this.
I get a lot of fruit.
You're gonna have to pour some more of this.
Sure. But I agree. The nose, when I first tried it, I was like, it smells like corn. Like, what's going on with this?
Right?
It's very corny.
And what does that generally tell you? Do you think
youthful? Yeah. This doesn't taste youthful, though.
If I smell corn and I feel like it's a high proof, I'm thinking light whiskey immediately.
Oh yeah.
If I'm smelling corn, just off the bat, I'm thinking, okay, this either has a high corn content or it's young.
Yeah.
So those are generally the first two rules. But
what's interesting is I get no corn on the flavor.
No.
At all.
No.
Like I'm getting nothing on the palate.
And I think that has to do with the aging. This is a very unique cask that they used.
Okay.
Which I think is providing that spice and that little bit of a sweetness.
Do you think it's hiding the corn?
I don't know if it's possibly a little bit.
Like masking it almost?
A little bit, I think.
And I think this one's the highest proof we've had. I feel like it is.
It tastes that way.
Yeah.
But that could just be a high rye content. I mean, I don't know.
There's a little hint of ethanol.
I don't know.
Yeah. Set it on fire.
Like for a second I was thinking it might even be a wheater, but then I think there's too much spice.
Yeah, my first drink I was like, is this a rye? And then it slowly like evolved and I'm like, no, that went away.
I almost finished that. I've got to leave some behind. Okay.
I'm intrigued for this reveal.
So what do we do? Do we reveal then go revisit them, or do we revisit them now?
I'll bring the box in, and while I'm doing that, why don't you kind of taste through them? Maybe give me a few guesses. I mean, it doesn't have to be right. We're just having fun here.
The only one I have a guess for, I was way off on the Woodford. Number one, I think I know what it is.
Okay, cool.
I have a guess for number two, and I don't know why. I
thought both of you would really actually have a guess for number two.
What? Okay, so he's gone.
I have a guess for number two.
He's gone. What's your guess for number two? I'll tell you my guess for number one.
Don't look. No. Master's Keep.
For number
Wild
two?
Turkey, Master's Keep, yeah.
Which one?
I don't know. It just tastes like a Master's Keep.
My guess for number one is Michter's 10.
Oh, okay.
The viscosity, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't think that's it. That's just my guess. I don't know why. It just that's just what popped in my head.
But there's like 5 Master's Keeps.
Yeah, but I just think it's one of them.
Interesting.
So,
All right.
I don't think I don't. Here's the thing, though, is I feel like, and this is my reasoning for maybe not thinking that's the case. I don't think they've come out with their newest one yet.
Okay.
We've had their most recent one at his house.
I mean, I'm not very confident that's what it is. That's just
and I think,
my guess.
But I think
this guy's really trying to bury my guess.
But I think he's also enjoyed Master's Keep in the past.
Yeah.
So that's why. That's another reason I don't think that's it.
Because you don't think he would bring it because he doesn't.
No, because he said these are things that he didn't normally like. But
I see your rationale behind it. Okay.
The other one is, I think mine is correct, just because I'm right.
We'll see.
Is that on which one? The first one?
He thinks the first
one.
one he knows what it is.
All right, so let's go into the first one here.
I really enjoyed the first one.
I enjoyed
love the first one.
I enjoyed every one of these.
I did too.
I think the first one is, again,
I didn't know how I ranked
Going back to
these.
it now?
you smell it now?
Yeah.
I know.
It's ridiculous.
Like, it's just jumping at through.
This probably has
this
the
has
best
the best
nose.
nose of all
Yeah.
of them.
I think, yeah.
And I think it
agree.
had the best nose from the beginning, and I think that's why the others felt so muted.
Oh,
Nose-wise.
man. And the palate, though. It's just candy. It's so good.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
He's pointing fingers.
I know.
And there was two. I didn't do one finger. I did two together.
For those of you listening, he just did a double pointed finger right at me. He goes, "Let me ask you this."
It was the index and the middle finger together.
Yeah, together.
It reminds me of...
If I would have gone pinky finger, you would have known I was really serious.
The pinky finger.
Right?
Yeah.
A Bronx Tale where he's like, who am I? He's like, that's Jimmy.
Yeah.
Do they make really good ryes?
The first one?
Yeah.
I think he said that was the third... No, the fourth
No.
one,
I'm
maybe.
not saying this is a rye. I'm saying,
I know.
Does this company make really good ryes?
Yes.
Is this Michter's 10?
It is.
Fuck yes.
Nice. Good job.
This is the 2023 release of Michter's 10.
God. Hey.
Very good. Very good
Look
job.
at- look-
He called it.
Look at you.
I think he peeked in the box. I don't know.
I did not peek in the box.
You peeked in my box.
Do you want to know what told me?
Yeah, what told you?
Viscosity, and you saying they didn't do one last year.
So you did remember that. I wasn't sure if you're going to remember that.
I remembered that there were a couple things. Once you said it wasn't Stag,
Yeah.
I was like, this has to be Michter's because they didn't do a 10-year last year.
So they held it back last year because apparently they felt like one more
Quality,
year
right? Yeah.
was going to make it really special.
So was this actually 11 years?
Apparently I think it's a lot older.
Okay.
So in the press release for this last year...
How did you get this?
What?
He knows people.
Uh,
I mean, seriously, I've never seen a 10-year in my life. And then you come in with a 2023. We're in March.
Michter's sends me, stuff.
Okay,
So
that's fair. I'm trying to get on that list.
And I always tell them, I'm like, look, I'm not really impressed with your 10-year bourbon, to be honest. I tell them all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
God, I love that.
Yeah, and I've said that in reviews. I'm like,
you're
it's
my
not.
hero.
I'm like, it's not worth it, dude. I'm
Yeah.
like, your 10-year rye, another story.
Oh, for sure.
Your 10-year bourbon, I could take it or leave it.
But this is
This
good.
is fantastic.
This, they said last year it was well beyond. They didn't say what year it was, and I really wish they would. That's the other thing I actually said in my review that bugged me. was that-
Transparency. You just want to know how old it is.
Like
that
if
year.
if it's not 10 years and you're saying it was well beyond 10 years last year, you wanted to wait another year. So what is the age? Because the regular Joe Schmo that walks into a store just sees a 10 is going to think it's a 10-year bourbon.
Right.
And the price on this has gone up. And what used to be 150, 160, now it's 185 retail.
So it's 18 years.
Well, I think you could argue that there's at least 15 to 16 on whiskey.
I was
in
going to
this
say
bottle.
15, but yeah, this is good, and
And I have never had a Michter's 10.
this is the first time I've ever had a Michter's 10 in my life.
If you ever see
really?
But I catch some of the small batch Michter-y kind of flavors underneath of it.
If you next time you come to my place, I'll show you the Michter's 10 bottles that I have, and this, for whatever reason, is just a lot darker than the other ones.
It looks dark.
This one has a
It does.
finish. It's got flavor. It's got viscosity. The other 10, the Michter's 10s before that, had none of it. I was completely blown away when I
What's
tasted
the proof
this.
on this? So break down this bottle.
94.4 proof.
Okay.
Okay. I said 100.
You said about 100.
Yeah,
I said you were in the...
It tastes a little. It punches higher than it is.
I think it's because
Yeah.
of those oak,
Probably
those oak
the tannins.
tannins. In the
Yeah,
back.
I think you're right.
But yeah, honestly, if anyone has a shot to get one of these, obviously $185 is a lot of money to pay for a bourbon.
I'd pay for that.
You would buy this for $185
for MSRP. I'd pay.
Yeah.
I'd pay $185.
So how do I want to say this? Not having it previously, I don't know. But after trying it, yes.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Never
Yeah.
having it before. I would probably do it because I've never had it before.
Before that bottle, if you ask me, there's a Michter's 10 on the shelf. I'm like, what year is it? Oh, it's an 18. It's a 19.
Pass.
I'd be like, don't even bother.
Don't waste your time.
Don't waste your money. But that one, I'm like, dude, you gotta get it. So
Yeah.
glad I got to share it with you guys, especially
No,
if
I
you're not never
appreciate it.
having one.
I'm glad you got to share it with us.
All right, so
I'm gonna
let's go to
rinse
the
again.
let's go to the second one. And I
said it was a
I
master's
know
key.
you had a guess.
Let me taste it, and then I'm going to make another
Which
guess.
I know he made a good point. It's not something that you said that you routinely think is good. I thought it could have been one of the Master's Keeps for some reason. I don't know why.
I don't get wild turkey out of this at all.
I don't know. Something about it just made me think of that. I don't know why.
It could be something wild turkey, but I'm just not.
There is something underlying here that would make me think it's one of two distilleries.
And I'm not disagreeing with you, but I can't put my finger on what it is. Give us an age statement if you have one.
I don't think there's an age on this.
Okay.
I could look it up real quick. Let me see.
Is this a major distillery?
Yes.
Okay. Interesting.
I love the oak on this.
It definitely has a nice oak profile, which is actually something you don't necessarily get from this distillery a lot. So, but we'll get into it here. I'll break her down. Any guesses?
Well, mine was obviously wrong.
Well, I don't know that it's obviously where he hasn't.
No,
said
Oh,
one way or
it's
the-
interesting because on the tasting notes I'm looking at right now, it says lemon meringue pie.
Oh,
so that's
yeah.
that citrusy.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that.
You
yeah.
guys
I said that
both said
lemon lime. Yeah, I
right?
said
Yeah,
lemon lime.
said lemon
And
lime.
I don't get that at all. I get orange.
It's
I
on the
don't-
nose.
I don't get lemon lime at all.
Citrus custard tart. That's
Okay.
pretty much
Custard's-
what we were
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
getting.
custard's
Yeah.
good.
Custard.
Fresh cedar, so that's kind of the okay. Yeah, I don't have an age statement on here. The only thing I could tell you is there's definitely a story around it. I mean, we'll get into it. So, any guesses?
Give me a minute.
A minute.
Clock starts now.
Brett, talk about travel nursing. I don't know.
You can make a lot of money. You got to wipe a lot.
Wipe a lot of butts.
Yeah. $100 pass.
Right
You
when
wipe.
I was about to take a drink, you asshole. That was great. Good timing.
Good timing. It's all about timing. Yeah, that's all I can taste now is lemon meringue, like lemon.
Yeah,
and
the lemon lime's
lime.
in there big time.
Yeah, for
me.
sure.
And now that you've, I
Still
wasn't
don't get
getting
it?
lemon lime at all.
I just get it on the.
But now
I get it
I'm
on the
in
back of
in
the palate
in the finish.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm getting it now, but I wasn't. I was getting orange, and now that you said it, I'm getting lemon lime, and it's more of like this.
It's like a Sprite that went flat. That sat out too
Well,
long.
not even that. Like, but you know when you like bite into a lemon.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a picture of my son biting into a lemon at an
like
Uno's
I don't
Pizzeria
routinely do that.
over on Tuttle before it closed down.
Yeah.
And his face was like, but like, you get that initial reaction when you have lemon in your tongue, but then when it hits it's not so bad once it travels past. You
Yeah.
know, that's kind of what I'm getting here is that secondary flavor of the lemon, not the initial.
So citrus wise, I would maybe go wild turkey because for whatever reason, I get a lot of orange and cinnamon and citrus on wild turkey products. Normally, I'm talking like the standards. Obviously,
Yeah.
the higher age ones they get into more medicinal cherry sometimes.
Sure.
But I mean, if you're just like Wild Turkey 101, Wild Turkey Rye, even a lot of the
101
Russells,
for sure.
I get a lot of citrus on it. This is a distillery I am not used to getting a lot of citrus at all on. So that's why I think this one's unique.
Okay.
Do I think it's amazingly great? No, but I thought it was unique for what it was.
It's good though.
Yeah,
I think it's good. Yeah.
All right. I've got nothing.
I shot my wad already. I said
right.
I said like a wild turkey.
But you
product.
weren't wrong, at least. I mean, he said
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
giving you some props. He's saving your ass like
Yeah.
he saves
Yeah, I
mine
appreciate
all the
that.
time.
This is the latest Old Forester 117 series.
Damn it! I was going to say Old Forester. I really was going to say
Warehouse
Old Forester.
H.
I swear
Warehouse
to
H.
God.
It's funny. I just visited my other one that we got the other day.
I wish I would have said it. I was literally going to say Old Forester. I was, but then I was like, This can't be Old Forester.
Because every now and again, I think on the nose, the only way that I feel like you can maybe tell, I do get a little banana on the nose. So I thought that's what maybe would give it away.
I'm so angry right now because I really was going to say Old Forester. And I was like, "There's no way this is Old Forester."
So this is Warehouse H. It's a symbolic of Old Forester's
I'm getting
growth.
the banana now. Damn it! Son of a
That's
bitch.
the way it always
Of course
goes.
you are.
No, now I'm nosing it. I'm getting the banana.
World War II construction on the brick warehouse began in 1946. 50,000 barrels, 4-story, 8-chamber warehouse was designed to be heat cycled in the winter months. So this was just really a study on that singular warehouse.
That's their latest one.
the latest one.
That's the only one I don't have.
Yep.
Oh, so they haven't been doing this very long then, the 117 series?
They've only done like 4, I think.
Well, Jackie's,
Oh, that's right. Jackie sent us that one.
Jackie's
or a sample.
Yeah, Jackie Zykin was the initial creator of this series.
You know why it's called the 117 series?
So many guys she banged? I don't know.
Dude.
I'm kidding. She want to make it 118.
Bread is open. Bread is
Anyway.
open. And his girlfriend is probably open to it as well.
Absolutely.
No, it's the fucking address of their fucking
I know
place.
it's not how many. I'm kidding you. Clearly.
I know you're joking. Holy shit. Smell it again and tell me you don't get banana.
I can't say that because I do smell it, but I'm not going to admit it.
Yeah.
Why?
I'm not going to admit it.
Yeah.
Why? I'm not the one who came up with it. He told us.
because
It's
I-
not like you're trying to win an argument with your girlfriend.
Right.
Who
know.
cares?
I hate the
But
power of
banana
suggestion.
is
though.
coming through like
That's what I
on
mean.
the
It
nose
is.
now.
I'm
so mad.
So here's the thing. Like when you taste it the first
Damn
time,
it.
I think it's hard to get the banana. But
It
after we
is.
went through everything
Yes.
else and we came back to it, as soon as I listen to them smell, I'm like,
It is.
They have to know that this is Old Forester.
There was a point when I was like, and then he said wild turkey. I was like, fuck. It's not Old Forester.
It's-
like I honest to God I had Michter's 10.
Yeah.
I was thinking I was actually going to say birthday bourbon.
Oh.
That's what I was going to guess on this, but I was like, that hasn't come out yet this year. So I was like, it can't be that. So I
And
got
last year's birthday bourbon
right was
sucked.
not good. So I got into my own head on this. I was like, well, it can't be that because he didn't like last year's. And so I was playing some of the odds of knowing that you didn't like last year's birthday bourbon.
Yep.
So I was going to say Old Forester birthday bourbon, but I was like, that hasn't come out yet. So
Yeah.
it can't be that. It's not Old Forester. So I talked myself out of it.
Yeah.
And I know this is easy to say in hindsight, like after he's already revealed it, but I swear to God, I was going to say Old Forester.
I believe you.
I could believe you because
you.
I think, yeah, like I said, after we went through the others and we let it sit and then you go back, I'm like,
I didn't know this had already come out.
I didn't either.
Or I would have maybe leaned into it and said, okay, maybe it's the 117. I wouldn't have. I might have said 117 just because I know that's the only
paid secondary market prices to get it because somebody had told me it's the best 117 series they came out with, and I'm like,
Hey.
is it though?
Hey,
Compare it against the one
whoa,
from last year.
hold
But-
on.
Yeah.
I've got them all back there. Let's do it.
Nope,
Let's do a
there you
new
go.
episode as soon as we're done here. And let's taste
Let's
them all.
taste them all. Yeah.
Why not?
That would be maybe not right now, but that
what
would be
else
a
you got
That's a
good
good episode.
comparison
though.
to do all three.
I'll
'Cause
come back to do that.
Last
You'd have to
year's
bring that with you.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
last year's was really good. I
That was
really
was
liked
that
last
the
year.
19 extra old, 1910 extra old?
The
one?
extra old was the last one. The one before that was the fire.
Oh, then
And
I
one
have the
before-
fire one. Then
Yeah,
is what I
you have the fire
I'm
one.
sorry.
I like the fire.
That's what I have. I like the. Yeah,
The
it's very
fire
good.
one's good.
I like the extra old one too. So
That's
it's
the
good.
one I've got a sample from your bottle.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
got that back
Yeah.
there.
I could bring that bottle.
And then I've got the original as well.
And then just throw
that
in
she
like
sent us,
OF 100 in the middle of the
I
line.
think. I don't even, you know what? I don't know that I have the original. I've got
Just
the
to see if that takes out all the 117.
Right.
series.
Be like, okay.
Yeah. She sent us the original.
Yes.
Or, no,
She did. She sent us a
sent us-
sample of the original.
That was the Angel Share. Was
Yes.
the first one.
I don't know.
I
if that's
remember
the one.
that.
And then we got the fire,
Yes, we got the fire one when we were
and then
there.
you have the extra old,
Yep.
1910.
and then we now are tasting.
I have the extra old, and I have the warehouse fire one, and then I have that one,
okay.
and I have a little bit of the Angels Share left. I think. The only one I didn't get, I don't think, was the second one.
I have to go back there and look.
Yeah.
I've got 3, I think, different ones back there. But
All right, so third one, which
I'm
seems
so mad. I'm so mad I didn't stick to my guns on this. I really am because I'd be 2 for 2 right now if I would have said Old Forester.
no, I agree.
I'm so mad.
third one is so good.
That's the one that was like.
And you know what
I think
pisses
that was
me
my
off?
favorite. I love the viscosity of that one.
I feel like I'm getting better at picking out brands, but my nose and my the actual taking the flavors I'm getting and pinning them to something I'm not good at.
I mean, that's fine.
I'm still not good at
But
that.
if you know what you're tasting when you taste it, I mean, that says a lot. So
I won't say that I do. I'm saying I'm getting better at it.
any guesses on the third one?
No, not yet.
I feel like
There's something familiar about this. This is the one that was more like tobacco-y, right?
no, this was like marshmallowy. Remember, it had
This was
real
the
thick
marshmallow,
Yeah,
super
but,
sweet one.
but didn't we also, or was this the tobacco?
I thought the fourth one is a little.
Oh
more
yeah, that was tobacco. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but the marshmallow went away after we had a taste of this. I thought
And then it went chocolate. Remember?
chocolate.
Yeah, when chocolate latte.
Fuck.
Yeah, and coffee bean.
And this is a special release as well.
I'm getting coffee bean right
This
now.
isn't a special release, but every release they do is kind of a special release. That's the only clue I'll give. And I do think this is the best thing that they've come out with in a very long time, if not the best thing.
Barrel's
See,
the
that's
only
what
thing I could
throws
guess.
me off.
Barrel's the only thing I could guess.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
This is
Oh, Old Carter.
Fuck, I didn't even think about that.
Old
Tyler's gonna
Carter.
be pumped.
Old Carter Batch 14.
Oh, fuck,
So
Tyler.
do you remember the legend of Old Carter Bourbon Batch 5?
No, I don't know anything about their history.
So Batch 5 was back in 2019. My 20.
Is that the one you? No, you brought us a. You didn't bring us an Old Carter bourbon. You brought us an Old
I
Carter.
bought you I married the light whiskey.
Yeah, the whiskey.
The American whiskey.
Yeah.
I forgot what year it was, but whatever year it was, Old Carter Batch 5 was my bourbon of the year. And I thought it was an absolutely monster of a bourbon. It's 99% corn,
Wow.
but it's double oaked. And it's got a pretty high age on
This
it.
one is, or the one from.
The 5 was.
okay.
And then this is kind of the second version of, they basically kind of reproduced
Homage.
it using, but I think the barrels are older. And they did the double oaking process a little older, which is why I think it's so dense and rich and dark. And this thing is an absolute. I think this is the best thing that they've made.
That's probably impossible.
bourbon
to
wise.
get, isn't it?
Bourbon wise,
Because they've made a lot of good stuff. Like
they made the American whiskeys are great.
Yeah.
I really thought their bourbons have kind of fallen off after like number 6 or 7.
I know. I'm like, how hard is it to get one of those? Really hard?
You're looking at like 450, 500 now to get one of these.
Okay.
just get 2 of them, Brett.
Just get 2 of them.
Fuck 'em.
Damn, this is good,
But
man.
this thing is friggin'. This is a
This
hitter.
is good, and this is the one I think I was saying. There's just a lot of complexity to it.
It is. This is one of the.
There's a lot
This
happening.
is so good.
There's a lot going on in this bottle.
The marshmallow makes sense then because like that second barreling and the
I mean, these are all cast strength. They're non-chill filtered.
You let me try. I remember it was one of the first times we were at your house, and I said I wanted to try something that was very like buttery, toffee, blah blah blah, and you let me try their batch 1.
That was the American whiskey batch 1.
Oh, it was American whiskey, okay, but I knew I tried the batch whatever.
Yeah.
That was fucking delicious.
that was the
too.
most. That's the most buttery thing. I
Yes.
think as far as American whiskeys go, a lot of people say American whiskey 4 or 6 is their favorite, but I still think it's 1
That
Yeah.
was fantastic.
for my palate. So I didn't think you guys were going to guess that one. It's a really
I haven't had enough
Kinda
Old
unique
Carter
profile.
to ever guess.
yeah.
I just guessed barrel because
Yeah.
you said each year is a different or each
Yeah.
batch is a different. So I was like, I had no idea either. So
All right, last one, which I don't think nobody will guess because it's so unique and
All right.
different. But
fair enough. Tyler's here, by the way.
he is.
Yeah,
Oh,
just
okay.
walked in.
He could run through them.
Do we pause? Let him go through what on the air, and,
It might take him a while. All of them?
hide your bottles. Hide your bottles, because he'll be happy about that third one.
Your drinks are in the...
Now let
There he is.
let Jason bring him out. There, you're set up right there, Tiger. Give me a quick sound check and then jump in.
What's going on,
Hope,
Papa Tyler?
hope that shit fucking.
Put your fucking thing on before you start talking.
And breaking lamps.
I hope that shit whiskey that is in the blind. I hope you snuck that in there for me.
Shit whiskey.
What shit whiskey?
The
2-year Texas?
no,
That's what I was
not,
thinking.
that's probably better than the shit whiskey.
Are you talking about that old malt whiskey?
Oh, that one. Oh, God.
the diaper
The dirty
filtered,
diaper water
This would have
one.
been
Yeah.
a great chance for you to slip that in there.
Oh,
No, we didn't do that. These are all phenomenal.
these are Jason's. Yeah.
We have
They are.
one more left to go, but we're going to let you catch up real quick.
What's up, brother?
We're going to let you catch up real quick because these are fucking good.
Yeah,
Yeah, these are all
Oh,
fantastic.
shit. He left a bottle out. Turn that a little bit so he can't see it.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
He doesn't know which
He doesn't
one.
know which one it is, I guess.
Oh,
He left
it
a
says it
bottle
on the
out.
back, too. That doesn't help him.
Oh, yeah. Hide that bottle real quick.
I mean, I think he's already said it.
So it's a blind, but you pulled it out?
Well, we're doing the reveal
We
now.
are in the
Oh,
reveal
gotcha.
portion.
Yeah, so
You don't know which one it is, though, so
just
left or right,
start
Tiger.
sampling.
So Tyler's just joined us.
Just shoot them all. One.
He just
boom,
came
boom,
from
boom.
a vet appointment with which dog?
Both.
Oh, yeah?
It's their yearly checkup. And
Where do you go?
I got fucking robbed. Norton Road.
Do they use lube at all?
They did on them.
They raw dog your ass?
They gave you the old, you get your dog out of colonoscopy. Colonoscopy.
Colonoscopy.
I got in there.
I like it.
I got in there, and they were like, "Oh, sir, you're gonna have to bend over."
This is a vet appointment.
Yeah,
but
That's my dog's name. Bend over.
We're thorough.
Yeah.
We're thorough.
We just want to make sure you don't have anything to come.
Make sure you're not contagious.
They're all
They're all good,
They're
man.
all good.
Except for one of them. Hey,
One of
while he's
them.
doing this, I'm going to give you something.
Yeah.
Okay?
Let's do it.
I want to give you something and
Hands
see what
ups.
you think of this.
Okay.
All right? And it's not gonorrhea.
Well, that's
But
Well, he wouldn't
I'm
have
open.
that for-
I'm open for discussion.
Why is he like the way he is?
why you like the way you are.
The nose on this is ridiculous.
Yeah, they're all. Oh, that's the one I said that was the same way with the nose. I think. No, the first one. Never mind. The first one, I was like, oh, the nose.
Yeah. The nose on the first one.
Yeah,
was
it was the
ridiculous.
best.
This is super cherry forward.
Cherry. On the second one, really?
Yeah,
All right.
Did you bring them out in the right order?
I did.
I think.
Is this something he already has? You think?
Is that a no?
You don't have it.
Oh, I don't have
There's
it.
no way in hell you have it. I know for a fact you don't have this.
No way in
No.
hell I don't have it.
I know. I know
So
for
direct.
a fact.
He had the two fingers out again. No way in hell you have this
Should
shit.
have
I
poked
know
you in
for
the
a
chest
fact
next.
you do not have this.
Okay.
This is good.
They're all good, man.
Yeah.
Hi, Banks.
Great viscosity in both of those.
Hi, buddy.
I don't know if you have a water.
There's one. There's. I'll grab you one.
Okay.
Ooh, that's
Both
good.
of those so far, not terribly high in proof, but just right.
Yeah.
Like, just right.
What do you think?
That's good.
What do you think?
Whatever it is, it's good. I'm trying to take it in here.
Have you
I'll
drank any yet, or
just
just
first?
nosed
Just
it?
one sip.
Okay. You know what this is.
I do.
I told you what I was going to give him when he got
I'm
here.
actually not getting like a big nose on this yet.
Did you tell me in person or in a message?
Since you've been here tonight, we talked about it. You said you had it. I couldn't remember that you had it.
It's got a little licorice on the nose on this. I'm sorry, on the palate.
It's new. I've gotten it in the last 3 weeks.
I'm having
You
a
like
stroke.
this? Do you like this dude?
I do, surprisingly.
It's-
That should be your hint.
It's licoricey, so I'm thinking it's a rye of some sort. What do you think of that one?
What would you say the proof is, you think, if you had to guess?
Holy shit.
That was one of my. That was maybe my favorite.
That's
I
the
think.
one. That's,
It almost has this pear aftertaste.
hey, that's the one. That's the one he better like, right?
He doesn't have to. I'm just curious what his favorite is.
No, but that's the one he
Oh.
better like.
The nose, so it sounds like the opposite of what you guys had. Both the nose in the first and the third one aren't really standing out to me, but that could just be me.
The first one, the nose doesn't stand out. The first one, the nose is the one that freaking smacked us
All
in the
of us,
face.
yeah.
The nose on the first one was like, bow.
But,
I think it's just
but
me.
because of
I
that,
think
2
it's
and
just
3 didn't seem as strong on the nose.
I would say this is like a 117, 118 proof on this. Maybe a little higher.
Fuck. You're just,
Oh, I know what it is now. Sorry.
you're throwing darts.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's 120.
It's 120.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why. I couldn't think for a moment.
Now, it's 120 based on my hydrometer.
So it doesn't say 120 on the label?
It does
No,
not.
it does not.
There's no proof on the label?
He
No.
mixed
No proof on the label.
So is this some kind of
There is
like,
no label.
Is this just some whiskey somebody thieved for you?
A homeless guy pissed it on the street.
Kind of. You're not incorrect with what you just said.
Ooh.
Tyler hasn't had this yet either. Brett and I have.
Yeah.
This is nice. I like this spice in the. I'm generally not a fan of like licorice, but this is more like a fennel to me.
I enjoyed it.
Like a
I was
sweet fennel.
really surprised, and
I'm surprised you like this.
I don't like licorice.
Well,
either.
there's no real dill on this either
Right,
for a rye.
exactly.
You got to tell them what it is. It's killing me.
So, Middle West Spirits.
I'm just gonna say, is this a pumpernickel?
It is. Middle West Spirits gave us a whole bunch of barrels for the Arnold to just have as props. We were like moving them around, and we're like, these still have something in them. And so,
So you blended them all?
no, this one's straight from a barrel.
Okay.
So last day we drilled into one of the barrels, turned it up on a chair. I've got a video of it. Poured it into an empty bottle. And just started dumping it. We filled up like 4 bottles.
Oh shit!
And then the other barrels, so Martell brings a food grade 5-gallon like a
Tub, whatever you
tub,
call it,
yeah.
yeah.
And we're just dumping all these barrels. And his is a blend. That one's a single barrel, and it's 120 proof. I used my hydrometer to check it out, and that's straight from the barrel. There was sediment and everything in there, and
And they don't do anything straight from the barrel?
I don't know that they use a filter. They use a charcoal. We saw that at their place,
Yeah.
the charcoal filter.
But even their barrel proof,
It's just funny. That's literally
Do they-
straight from the like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but their barrel proof, do they proof it down to anything, or is it literally straight
Oh,
from the
I
barrel?
think they do. I don't.
it's what it comes-
I think it's whatever it comes out as.
Okay.
Because it's always like point whatever. Like there's a decimal
Yeah.
place.
Because I know that some people will do, or some places will do, like a barrel proof, and it's like, well, it comes out at 115.
Well, like,
but,
for
or
example,
125, but let's do 118.
Lux Row, their
Yeah.
cask strengths are 120 because that's what they put them in the
Exactly.
barrel. But they'll proof them down to that because that's what
Yeah.
they put them
Yeah.
in. That's their barrel
So
entry proof.
that's what I was wondering is if
No, this was. I don't think that Middle West does that, and most places I don't think do that. I think most places they might do a little tinkering to get a good flavor out of it, but for the most part, I think they just take them as is.
I want to
really
know
like
this fourth one.
4.
I know he hasn't revealed 4, so we don't know either.
They don't know what 4 is.
We know-
so
Oh,
I
shit, you
gotten
haven't
far.
revealed
No, we
4
know
yet,
1
have
through
you?
3.
I haven't revealed 4.
I drank 4.
Did you guys rank them at least?
We did not.
We did not.
They kind of both said that they really like the third one was their favorite.
I'm-
Generally, but
Complexity wise, 3 was my favorite.
I
one
think
and-
like
but
3,
one and-
4.
but 1 and 2 are like just sip and drink all night.
Yes,
Amazing
yes.
whiskeys. Yeah,
Yeah,
Amazing
that I
whiskeys.
we
They're
agree
so
with that.
incredibly
Do you
just.
have 4 left?
Yeah, this is what I was sipping on right now.
Do you have 4 left?
Yeah.
I have no 4 left.
Do you want another sip of that?
Well, once you finish, because I've got a little
mean-
lip fungus I ain't identified yet.
He's got that. He's got the dude lip.
I think just all the stress of banks and.
Oh, I'm sure.
I can
and
imagine.
everything.
That's
It
what
just-
makes them.
sure.
That's what makes those things appear
Yeah.
and stress.
Are you good?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
When
Here,
do
why
you,
don't I do this and then you can have some more if you want.
Okay.
So out of all 4, what can you like give me a rank a little bit? What do you think?
Yeah, we didn't rank.
I
them,
mean, I
did
know
we?
you've been.
yeah,
I know
it
you've
was
been
kind of
I know you're kind of whipping through these a little bit, but
I know.
Let me go back to 3 real quick. But
This
you're
is
right.
something
1
you
and
said-
2 are just so like you could drink those at all times. You know,
Absolutely.
great mouth coating, fantastic. The
1, 2, and
nose-
3 you could potentially pick. You said 4 we'd never pick, right?
4 you won't.
Yeah,
You
okay.
won't in a million years.
But 1, 2, and 3 are things that we potentially had before.
Unless
slash,
you follow my Patreon.
Oh, here's the other thing. The theme is things that he's normally not impressed with, but this year or this most recent release he's impressed with.
So
So the first 3 are LTOs.
I'm gonna go. 3 is my favorite, but it kind of just
I'm so
drops a
excited
little.
for him. I'm so excited for him that 3's his favorite.
It drops a little, whereas I think 4 lingers a little bit more. But I still think I'd like 3 more.
Totally.
Because of what? Complexity on the tongue feel, like mouth feel, what?
With
I totally.
3, number 3.
Wow, this might be the first time I like outright agree with him.
It doesn't happen very
Doesn't
often.
happen.
It doesn't
Mark
happen
the time.
often. But what he just said, I think 3
Yeah.
definitely has. It's got more the dense flavor.
Well, we all
but I
said
think,
that
but
it
I
drops
think,
off a little bit.
But I
at
think because of the
end.
makeup of it,
Yeah.
it drops
Yeah.
off on a finish.
Yeah.
Whereas the 4th one, when you'll find out why, it has such a lingering finish.
Okay.
But you'll be surprised though with the mash bill, that last one, and it still has that finish, but it's really what it's
Like
matured
a
in.
weeder or something.
yeah.
Weeder, pumpkin eater.
So 3 is your favorite so far?
God, fucking 2 is great, but
Go back to 1 and nose 1 now.
Yeah, seriously.
Just nose it.
hold on.
Just nose 1. Do the old, nose in the sleeve.
The old
on your
snifferoo.
hand.
So you really like that straight from the
Ooh.
barrel?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I dig it.
That's crazy.
I'm curious. Your
I was gonna say Middle West only because Middle West is one of the few that Pumpernickel's rye is one of the few ryes I get a
You can
distinct.
pick out
Yes,
of a lineup.
I get a
stand
distinct.
out.
I get
Me
a
too.
distinct fennel licorice
too.
note.
You can pick it up out of pick it out of a lineup most of the time.
Yeah.
Every once in a while you'll get a dill.
Can I
that-
try that after? When
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
all
I
done?
wanted to give you some too. Yeah, I meant to give it to you last time you were here, and we forgot.
I want to know your nose notes on that. To me, that's like a very fresh green fruit, green apple, green pear. But you're right. It's just like it's right there.
Yeah. I said caramel apple the first time I know.
On which one?
Yeah,
The first
that
one.
makes
Oh.
sense.
That was the one we thought was very heavy in the cherry at first, right?
Mhm,
yeah.
It got a little bit. It's the more of the cherries on the palate, but on the nose, I said caramel apple on my first time I tried it.
Three's
You
incredible.
and I thought cherry big time on the nose, right?
We did.
And then
Yep.
immediately, I couldn't get past it at first until I started tasting it. Then it settled down on the nose a little bit.
I bet three's proof is higher than I think it is.
I don't think you ever said what it was to us.
Not yet.
I would
we didn't
say,
get that
like-
far 'cause
Yeah.
we hit it.
Yeah.
I read it on the bottle.
You did?
Yeah.
I would
You were
say
right-
like
you were
a
right there with what
90.
it was.
It drinks like it's 95. You
Which
know?
one?
Number 3.
Uh huh.
Yeah, but for some reason, I feel like it's going to be higher than that. But it drinks like a 95.
So the first one, if you had to guess a proof, what do you think?
93.
Okay. Second one, what do you think?
That's what I'm gonna. I'm still getting cherries all day on the nose
Of which one?
of
Second
2.
I swear he switched them.
Maybe I did.
one? I mean, it's possible.
I took them. I picked them up in order and then just put them down.
Yeah.
So they should be in the right order.
Listen, if they're out of order, it's because of Tyler.
It's his fault.
90s, 97, 96, like somewhere in the high 90s. Same thing with 3. Now 4 appears a little bit higher, but that could just be the mash bill.
Yeah, and it could be just the spice of it.
Yes.
Which is sometimes tough to pick up. Whether
Yes.
it's a high proof or is it just spicy. That could definitely be an indicator.
I mean, the proof on that, maybe 110.
Yeah. Okay.
But the nose, going back to like an empty glass on the 4, is it's so good. It's so grainy, but it's like
Yeah.
it's a great grain.
I think it's very savory.
Yeah, it's like
That's what it is.
That's like a bake shop to me,
Yeah.
but not like a.
I think
not
it's
like
extremely cinnamon heavy on number 4. to
Yeah.
me. All right. Well, let me run through the first 3 with him real quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the first one, you were spot on the proof. It's actually 94.4.
Oh
Yeah.
shit.
And it
I
is.
was actually pretty impressed with that.
It's the 2023 Michter's 10 year.
Oh, I can't believe I just got to drink that.
So,
Did you just come in your pants? Like,
Yeah. I did.
so real quick, I was just telling these guys like
Jeff's gonna be so fucking. Pissed.
I've always never been impressed with Michter's 10 year. Michter's sends me samples and bottles to try, and I'm like, your 10-year rye, your barrel proof rye, all over it.
Yeah.
I don't think your Michter's 10-year bourbon is worth it.
Sure.
This year though,
it's
it's freaking good.
Yeah.
So that's why I wanted to bring it.
And you could drink that bottle pretty quick.
You could, I could
yeah.
crush this bottle.
Yeah.
We all said the same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, you fuck. That's a
Right?
dangerous one.
That's
to
what
be
I said too. I
really
said
good.
I
know.
could drink that all night long, and it would sneak up
It
on
would
me.
sneak up on you.
There's
Yeah.
like so the old some of the Four Roses barrel strengths that I have, like those are ones that I'm like, fuck, I could go back to those all day, just love them. But I don't know that I could drink them as much as I could drink that.
Well, I mean, it's
You
100.
could have-
It's under 100 proof.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, you could have 4 glasses. Of
So
that
second
pretty
one, do
quickly.
you have a guess of what distillery that could be?
I don't. I'm really bad at that. I'm really bad at the only thing.
Just nose it one more time and then take a guess.
Wild Turkey is pretty much the.
That's what he said. Amazing.
I said the same thing.
I'm so
Yeah.
mad I didn't say what I'm so mad.
But I don't really get Wild Turkey on the nose here.
I don't know why, but I said wild turkey too, man.
So this is.
Obviously, you're wrong, man.
go with
But
your
you
heart.
were again. This was another bottle. You were spot on with the proof. You said high 90s.
Yeah.
This is the brand new Old Forester 117 series Warehouse H,
Yeah.
and it is 98 proof.
So I almost said
Yeah.
Old Forester because I thought maybe it was a birthday bourbon. I
Yeah.
thought Old Forester, but then he said that they were ones that he formerly has not liked, but this year. But I'm like, Old Forester birthday bourbon hasn't come out yet this year, so it can't be that. So I talked myself out of it,
Sure.
forgetting that a 117 had come out, and I'm so mad.
And
So
I
mad.
haven't had enough birthday bourbon.
Yeah, same.
And my
I've only
wife
had
to know
I've
it.
only had one.
Okay, they're
Yeah.
mostly disappointing anyway.
Yeah.
And that's why I thought it might be that.
Unless
because
you go back literally 10 years, and then it's like,
The last good one I had was I will say
2017 or something.
2019 was really good.
19, that's what it was.
then it isn't
But
16?
2018 was
Okay.
probably my favorite. I finished my bottle of the 2018 and I filled it with Cooper's Craft. And now when people 100 proof Cooper's Craft, when people come over, I'm like, you want to try some birthday bourbon?
Oh, that's
And
hilarious.
I
It's
poured
the
it.
same
And they're
mash
like,
bill.
this is delicious.
It's the same
I'm
mash bill,
I'm
right?
like, isn't it so good? Isn't birthday bourbon amazing?
He's done that to us.
Like,
Probably.
yes. I totally
Twice.
no. You guys are broken.
William LaRue Weller that
We're
he's got
broken.
sitting
You
up
guys
there.
are broken already.
Broken.
Picked a 2-year Texas whiskey over a 14-year hazmat.
Listen, asshole, stop bringing that. You're like my wife. The one time I fuck up in an argument.
The one time.
And she brings the one time.
One time.
And she brings it up over
I
and
know, I
over
hear ya.
and over again. I'm like, what the fuck? Come on.
All right, third one was unanimously everyone's favorite. Ready for this one?
Fuck yes.
Hey, that was pretty aggressive.
Yeah.
That was pretty aggressive.
You like
reveal.
that, right?
I did.
Yeah.
I'm just glad you didn't drop it.
No, I didn't try. It's Cop It. So,
It's cop it.
all right.
It's cop it. It's cop it.
Until the cap comes off.
This is
Like,
Old
we're-
Carter Bourbon Batch 14. This is 99% corn.
What year?
This is
This
this
year.
year they
This year,
released
okay.
it. It's 99% corn. It's a high age blend that they double oaked. That's why it's so dark and damn delicious. This is the first time they've done this since Batch 5.
That we really liked.
That you really liked.
Well, the one we had wasn't a bourbon. We had a
No, yeah.
oh no,
it
you
was
had the American whiskey.
yeah.
But Bourbon Batch 5
Is also
when it
really
came
good.
out was my bourbon of the year that year.
Yeah.
And it kind of blew up and it became kind of a unicorn. This is the same process they used for Batch 5. They used for Batch 14. I think this is even better.
So remind me with Old Carter, we should have them on. I don't know.
Every time we go to Kentucky, it's her birthday.
I know, but,
and
like,
your
we should-
birthday, so
but-
she's never around.
Yeah.
We should have them on a podcast. Get Jason.
I would love to. I would
have
love
them on a
to.
podcast.
I could definitely get a sherry on for you.
Yeah.
Or Mark.
Fuck.
And hey, we're going a week later this year. Maybe she won't. Maybe she'll be home.
Yeah.
Or not home.
All
but
right, you ready for the fourth one?
available.
You ready
Yes.
for the fourth one?
I'm ready.
So you guys should know this bottle if you follow my Patreon.
I do follow
I
your
do,
Patreon,
but I have not watched any of your stuff in the last month.
No, I know. With everything you got going on, I
just
believe
haven't.
it.
I just haven't.
This is
I haven't even read your subject lines.
this is the Spaniard.
I saw a picture of that you. Yeah, so
I like that bottle. I
This
don't know
is
why, I just like the
Dancing
bottle.
Goat American corn whiskey. We said corn. When you sniffed
Yeah.
it
We did.
immediately, you said this smells like corn.
But then once you taste it, the corn's gone.
This is an 8-year MGP,
So that's a corn whiskey.
99% corn whiskey, aged in a Spanish oak barrel, which is where that spice comes from and all that cinnamon.
Okay.
I mean, corn whiskey is basically.
They
bourbon,
got
right? I mean,
so this is from Dancing
Super
Goat.
dark.
This is from Dancing Goat
It
Distillery,
is.
and they got that barrel by accident. Our group and another group were the only groups we split the barrel to get this because Spanish oak's a huge barrel. So even with half the barrel, we still got a little over 200 bottles out of this.
Damn.
And it is just an absolute flavor monster. We love it, and
It's fantastic.
I knew that you guys
so
probably
that's a
didn't grab
mash and,
one.
That's a mash and drum.
This is a Mash and Journey pick.
I haven't, or that mash and journey. I have not ordered anything.
I have been the worst patron.
I ordered-
outside of just giving you free money every month.
Yeah, you don't take advantage. I mean, what the hell?
He doesn't give a shit. He's like LA Fitness.
Did you at least get the Yellowstone? I hope.
yes.
Okay, good.
I got the Lux Rose.
You got the Lux
Same.
Rose.
I got
Good.
the
Good.
Ezra.
Good.
Yeah, I ordered an extra one for him, so we'd
Yeah.
split shipping.
A lot
Nice.
of times I order with him to split shipping,
Yeah.
but I'm still going to stay on your Patreon.
But
You
the
know what I mean?
Yellowstone is. Wait, I'm excited for you guys to try it. It's a really good pick.
Yeah.
The
I
D on
did
that's like
not
a
get the
Disney D,
Yellowstone.
by the way. Look at the
Yeah,
the
look at
embossed
that.
D.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
I did not get the Yellowstone, so you'll have to bring that over.
For sure.
So we tried a bunch of different stuff that they had sent. They're mostly known for their. Have you guys ever heard of Limousine Rye whiskey? Limousine. you'll see it around, and that's what they make. That's what they're kind of known for. But this thing is just an absolute outlier, and we grabbed it as soon as we tasted it.
That's funny. Hey, we're not done yet. He's got one more back there.
One surprise one.
I'm all for it.
Or is it back there, or is it in that box?
It's right here.
Okay.
It's right here.
That he's going
We
to pour
might have
for
to
us just for
rinse.
us to taste.
Okay. Side note,
I would
has
clean the glass out or
Yes,
something.
we'll
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
rinse.
any
a
of you
glass.
two had Journeyman out of Michigan?
Yeah, I like Journeyman.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I think
so.
I haven't tasted their recent stuff, but when I tasted them,
Okay.
when I tasted their stuff, maybe it was like last year or something like that for the first time. I'm like, they got something here.
Okay.
I think it just needs to be aged up a little
Sure.
bit.
So
Are they distilling their own stuff?
Yeah.
From what I read, they are.
Yeah.
Now they have from what I saw, they kind of have like a unique, past and where they, where the founders kind of went and learned how to distill in a foreign country that didn't seem like a distilling country. Mm-hmm. Well, they first it was in Scotland, and then was
Distilling country.
Yes, but then the other place was like
Ireland.
no, it was like somewhere different.
What the fuck is this?
So my brother got me
the
their
same fucking wax
hey,
on that.
move your hand.
Look how dark it is.
I know.
You see the title of it? What we called it?
Modern Dusty.
All right, just go ahead.
Modern Dusty.
pour a
That's
little
great.
bit.
Wait, what? Is this available yet?
Not yet.
No.
It's not available yet.
Oh god, this is such a weird.
So my
Just taste it
brother,
first.
he picked
Hey.
he went to the distillery, and he picked me up their Last Feather Rye, which is 60% rye, 40% wheat.
Shit.
Barrel
This
proof barrels,
looks
single
like-
barrel. So
I know.
I'm
Used
excited to
oil.
get that.
Yeah.
Even in the glass, like
This
it looks
looks
like.
dark as shit.
Yep. Yeah. Just let it
It
sit out a
almost
little
has
bit.
A red tint to it.
Who do I have to blow at Old
Fuck,
Carter?
what do you not understand about shh? There we go. Now you can talk about blowing people at Old Carter.
So Jason, you've talked in the past about
Blowing people at Old Carter?
Old Carter. do they distill their own stuff right now, or are
Oh
they?
my God, this is dark.
No, they're currently not. I think they had plans to. Not really sure how far along they are with that
Hey,
though.
real quick, before you get too far into this, introduce this whiskey because this, I've not seen anything this dark in a glass in a while.
That's coffee.
It looks like dirty diaper water. No, it looks like
Patron,
it's-
remember that Patron
it's like-
XO? You ever see that?
Oh, yeah.
That's what it
Brown
looks
water
like.
trash.
This
So
is dark.
this is a company called Southern Collective Spirit Company. Obviously, they're sourcing stuff. Scott, my bourbon journey, he was talking to a couple different folks to see just what they had, anything unique. This particular company was like, if you're looking for different, we do have something for you. We're not
I feel
sure.
really bad because you just did like a little tiny pour, and I just did like
Yeah. Well, I've-
3 or 4 times.
Well, I've
what you
had
just
this
poured.
before, so it's
okay.
fine. They're like, we don't, like, we're not sure, like, exactly what you guys would think of this, but we could send it to you and try it. So they sent it to us, and as soon as we know, I'm like, this smells like something made in the early 80s, late 70s.
So hold on. When you say that, what do you mean? Viscosity? Like
No,
lower
he
entry
said
point?
smell.
What do let me lead the conversation.
The smell has nothing to do with the
Oh
viscosity.
wow.
But I'm asking, like, I'm trying to get, like, because viscosity has a smell to it too. I think, like,
I think something can smell viscous, which sounds
Yeah.
weird.
right. No, but I don't
no.
But,
But for
like
this-
you immediately, like earlier, you're
Literally,
like buttery.
the definition
you know.
of viscous is
Shut the fuck
fucking-
up, Tyler. This guy
smells
shows up and then just
rich.
disrupts the entire show.
Yeah.
Smells very rich. Like I don't know how to describ it other than smelling rich.
I'm the wild card,
Hey,
bitch.
does it smell viscous?
It smells like
It doesn't smell like it could be viscous.
it's yes.
yeah, see,
Thank you.
that's the
Yeah.
point.
See,
Sounds like it could be viscous.
Fuck you guys. Fuck you guys.
3-1, Tyler.
If you
3-1.
smell a piece of dark, if you smelled like Hershey's syrup,
Oh my god.
you know what I'm saying? Like you know that's going to be thick.
Yeah.
So generally, a bourbon made in like the late 70s, 80s has this this like almost funky barrel, but yet heavy sweetness to it. And I get it a lot with like either like a cheesy gold foil wild turkey or like an early 1980s 100 proof old granddad. It's very toffee, butterscotchy, but it's got like this density, and that's what this reminds me of. That's why we call it the Modern Dusty, because it's just. And I'll let you guys take a sip, and I'll tell you exactly what's in this bottle.
So, have you ever had those? I don't eat a lot of candy bars, but 100 grand.
Yeah,
That smells like 100 grand.
100 grand.
Yeah.
So it smells like 100 grand to me.
it's a lot of chocolate.
In a couple ways.
Yes.
It's a lot of chocolate and raisin, to me.
That's why I think like the chocolate, like caramel, crispy, like
Yeah. I would go chunky on this one. A little
chunky.
Oh, you said yourself.
Yeah,
If there was a dark chocolate chunky.
I would go dark chocolate Tyler on this one as well.
With Tyler? What does that look like?
Oh, man.
Did I say
Stick around,
Tyler?
you'll find
I
out.
meant chunky. Sorry, I meant
That's like
chunky.
Fat Albert.
He keeps spreading them legs. You're gonna find out.
It's like Fat Albert.
Fat Albert. Hey. I'm Tyler. I'm dressed like a gym teacher.
No, so
He is dressed like a gym.
You want to do phys ed?
Of
As I'm
all
wearing
time.
like sweat shorts.
Yeah, cut off.
But my goatee, along with outside of right now, I have a neck beard.
Neck beard.
My goatee, along with my sunglasses, I usually look like PC Principal.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I-
Is my mic on?
Yeah,
I
you
feel
look like
I'm
a
not. I don't know.
1990s offensive line coach for a high school team.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
No, not anywhere else but a high school.
A high
Just
school.
unqualified to be there.
Like it's
but
not on because he's so loud.
Yeah.
I just took a sip of this and like holy
Holy
shite.
balls,
I haven't tasted
Holy
it yet.
shite.
I'm still enjoying the nose.
I don't even know how to describe this.
Oh, my God.
Hold on, let me do it.
Is this going to be
Whoa.
on your Patreon? Can I ask that?
It's
Can
going
we-
to be a lottery
There's only
bottle.
40
There's only
bottles.
40 bottles.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh my god.
Well, I'll be entering the
Oh
lottery.
my god.
Can I enter the lottery 40 times?
Yeah.
Oh.
Right?
So like it was good initially,
And
then
then-
it disappeared, and then all of a sudden it came back.
It is like a re-blossom.
Right?
It's like a caterpillar going into a cocoon.
Fuck, man.
What?
Listen,
And emerging like a butterfly.
Yes.
we're all doing butterfly
fucking-
arms except for Brett. Brett's just
Caterpillar
burying
emerging
himself.
from the cocoon.
Brett's too cool to do butterfly.
No,
Tyler,
he was,
were you getting
he
my
was
love
burying his
cocoon?
schnoz into the glass. Is
He
what
was.
he was doing.
It's all the way in there.
Yeah,
He's like, you guys cocoon out. I'm
I'm not
burying
gonna
my
lie.
schnoz."
The
It's like
nose is solid to me. There's a lot going on, but I don't know that there's anything that stands out of like I love this.
All right,
But
you've got to tell us about this because there's so much going on here,
there's
and it's so
chocolate,
dark.
like
this
super
is
chocolate.
This is crazy.
Isn't that crazy good?
That's fucking fantastic.
I'm not going to
chocolate
say
is
I'm not going
unreal.
to say it is, but I think this is probably the best thing we've had tonight.
Oh, I would.
I could agree with that
I,
statement.
I
would
mean,
agree with
honestly,
that.
and we've had some freaking good stuff. Like the Michter's 10 was good. The Old Forester
Carter was good.
The old This was all
It has
good.
such a chewy flavor to it. Like I feel like I'm chewing
some
a piece
texture,
of
for sure.
toffee,
There's
like
texture.
over and
so
over.
this is
and
a
over.
very, very, very short barrel from Southern Collective Whiskey Company. This is a 15-year-old light whiskey.
Wow.
99% corn, finished in a red wine barrel.
I get some corn.
You know, I thought it looked red when I poured it earlier.
Yeah. I get corn. I definitely get corn immediately, like right when it hits the tongue. But there's so much going on. So what's the proof?
What do you think the proof is?
135.
129.7.
All right.
Oh,
Which is actually on the lowish end
Of a
for
light.
a light
Yeah.
whiskey. But
That's why I said 135. I don't think it drinks like that at all.
so we thought there was going to be a lot more in the barrel because it was a light whiskey. And then she's like, there's only like, you might have enough to get maybe 45 bottles. And we got 43. So
Damn.
43 bottles total. Me and Scott each got one, at least 41 bottles to
and
do,
then I
to,
get
to
one
do
that,
for the
that
grip.
leaves 40.
Yes, but this is probably one of the most
He just glosses over
right.
it.
That's
Moves
that's one of the most unique.
on. Good try.
That's one of the most unique things I think we've ever tasted.
This
and
is
selected.
ridiculous.
Isn't that insane?
This is something that I would just want to give someone. Like they come over
And
they've
you're like,
had
you
some
need
stuff,
to. You need
so
to. Have
but
this.
like you just let
So
them
unique.
taste the things they think they want to taste,
Yeah.
and then you give them this, and they're just this is
Isn't Blanton so good? Try this, dick.
but try this dick and then try this.
And then try this. Yeah. One right after the other. No.
But no, I mean this like not to sound corny, but this like corny, 99% corny. This breaks the mold. This is like really, really good, man.
Yeah, this is on another level of whiskey.
So it's finished in a red wine.
Finished in a
barrel?
red wine
I
barrel.
wouldn't have guessed. Like,
What's the red wine barrel? Do you know?
I don't know actually. I think they were trying to find out for us. I want to say it's a cab, but it could be Merlot.
Generally speaking, I will say
I didn't think it was Merlot because it's not drying at all. So I was.
it's not.
I was going. I was like, if it's cab, I could see that. But they just said red wine. I mean, it could be a blend. I don't know what it is, but
I generally don't don't like red wine
so
finished
chocolatey.
bourbons.
yeah, it's insane.
But
So
I think there's so
chocolatey.
much other stuff going on that
you can see the red.
offsets that.
yeah, the 15-year light whiskey that's in the bottle is pretty.
Your
pretty
knee looks
insane.
like you banged Trina on the carpet for 5 hours straight.
It was 3 hours, but that's my psoriasis, asshole.
On that, like it showed up there. I thought it showed up in your
You can
head.
get it anywhere.
It's mostly on joints. Mostly.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why does it show up in joints?
That's the only place I have it on my body.
I thought you got it on your head for a long time.
I did after I bleached my hair, and then it like
His face.
it traumatized my
He's like,
my
you get
scalp.
like the fucking what, tips?
Frosted tips?
The frosted
no,
tips?
I actually bleached my hair.
As
You're the new Slim
what
Shady.
was the reason behind that?
Phys ed teacher,
I
Mr.
was-
Schaefer,
I
seems
was-
dumbfounded.
That was the thing to do.
Mr.
Right?
Schaefer.
Yeah.
Mr. Schaefer, I got to go to the
No,
bathroom.
So
Mr. Schaefer, I have my
back before you
girl
knew me,
issues. Do I have to play volleyball?
I can't wear these mesh shorts.
I got
I've got a note
chewed-
from my mother that says I don't have to participate in gym.
I just think of like Kyle from South Park, like his cousin Kyle. He's like, I got to go to the bathroom.
So before you knew me, Tyler, I used to do crazy shit with my hair all the time. You remember I used to do mohawks, right?
Yes.
So before I did mohawks,
It's very convincing.
yeah, right.
Yes,
I'm going to just agree with you because you said it out loud. But before that, like I used to bleach my hair. I used to do crazy stuff like designs in my head. Like I used to do stupid shit all the time. Like honestly, that was one of the. So
You were like Dennis Rodman before Dennis
Did
Rodman.
you
kind of. It was about the same time as Dennis
Yeah.
Rodman.
Did you grow up in Belpre or fucking
I grew up in Belpre, but I did fuck in Canton. If that's what you're about to ask.
No, I was gonna ask the Hilltop.
I did. I fucked in the Hilltop too. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you?
So anyway, yeah, multiple times.
Okay.
Same girl, but multiple times. Same guy, but multiple times. I mean, girl, but multiple. So anyway, I was winning without realizing it, and this is really fucking good.
Thanks for sharing this. This is
This is
fantastic.
outstanding.
Thanks for sharing all of it, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, always.
Yeah, I figured-
always.
You should have slipped this into the fucking blind as like a fucking wild.
We
It's
would've-
not fair. Not
we
fair.
would have picked this just underneath the Texas 2-year.
It's just too different compared to the other four.
You're right.
Agree.
You're right.
Did that just
it would've
slip past you, or did you just ignore it?
I'm just ignoring that.
Yeah.
Okay, fair
Ignoring
enough.
that whole statement.
Fair enough. Just under the 2-year Texas.
It's so unique.
It is. I don't normally like red wine finished bourbons that I've had in the past, but this is outstanding. And I think there's so much else going on with this. What do you know what the age? Did we already ask this?
15 years.
15. Oh.
Yep.
And then how long?
And I think
how long in the red wine barrel?
And I think whatever red wine barrel that it is, I think it gave it some of those funky, dusty notes that you get in like an old school bourbon, which just adds to the texture and the flavors of this whiskey. It's crazy.
I will say the viscosity is not dusty like, in my opinion.
The viscosity is not dusty like, but it has dusty like qualities.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I was going to say.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't think the viscosity reminds me dusty, but the flavors, it's like all the flavors in that definitely reminds me of dusty.
Yeah.
And then how dark this is! Holy cow!
I was literally, I actually had this box and I'm walking out of the house getting ready to come over, and I just kind of glanced at the just to make sure that I turned the lights off, and I saw that bottle. I'm like, oh, I gotta bring these guys. Got to try that.
try
I'm
it.
curious to see what they think.
So
of it.
you almost didn't bring that.
Almost.
It's funny.
I walked
I'm
by
glad
and I
you
saw
did.
it. I'm like, oh, because
This
I
is
already had these four.
ridiculous.
I had these 4 picked out, and I'm like, I'll just kind of have them taste it, and I just want to get their thoughts on it. If it's as good as I think it is,
It is.
It is.
Yeah.
It's outstanding. This, I'm not gonna lie. This might be the best thing I've had all night.
This or the old Carter, they're neck and neck for different reasons, though.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes,
You know
they're.
what I mean? It's not like I'm picking.
you can't compare them side by side. Like they're vastly different, but you can. They're equally as good.
I think they both have a density of flavor, but the flavors are different.
Yeah.
This is like a dessert bourbon.
It is.
Yeah.
You know what
This
I mean?
is-
This
That's
is
a
like,
good- that's
it's
a good
almost like
description.
an aperitif.
This is
Yeah.
this is like a fucking massive chocolate brownie.
Yeah, it's a flavor.
Yeah.
It's an absolute flavor bomb.
Yeah.
on this one.
Absolutely.
It's chocolate raisin to me all day long. Little bit of like
raisin's good.
I think it's like those
that.
little butterscotch like bits, like the inside of like a Butterfinger, like the
what?
crunchy parts.
A what?
Yeah.
Butterfinger.
You better not lay a finger.
I was not expecting you to go that direction. I wanted you to say it the same way again, but that was great.
So usually
Butterfinger.
He sounded like an accountant.
Yeah.
the really unique thing with this bottle is usually you get a lingering taste. You know, if it's got a lingering taste, it's like down the back side of your tongue. This it stays
Yeah, it's
like
on the front
forward.
side. No, you're right.
It stays forward. I don't know that I've ever had a bourbon that like the taste stays forward.
And being
It's
red,
fucking-
and being a red wine, I really thought it was gonna. When I'm like, oh, this is gonna dry the shit of our palate.
But
It doesn't do that.
It
at all.
doesn't at all.
Yep.
And that's generally why I don't like the red wine finishes because they're
that's
tannic.
good.
They like overly tannic and they dry.
You caught
like
up quick, Tyler.
yeah, he did, didn't he? It's been a
I
long.
feel
it's been a long day for Tyler.
Yeah,
It
I
has.
get
I can
it.
imagine.
He needed this.
How's the new
And I'm
baby?
glad. I'm glad you came.
More than once.
We know of at least twice. He's got two
Yes.
kids now.
Two
At least
kids.
twice.
Twice that worked.
So
That
Jillian's
Jillian allowed.
Jillian's a saint. So for the most part, she takes
know.
care of. Yeah,
She deals with you.
Yeah.
She's
She
married
married
to
me,
you, so
so-
that's saint number one.
Yeah.
That was the first act of sainthood.
I'm surprised she hasn't like had any like just like woken up with wings at this point.
Oh fuck. Well, I mean, she's equally.
She hides them. She hides them when she wakes up. What? I don't know what he said.
He's just going.
She's equally as difficult.
As your kids or as you?
Both.
Okay, fair enough.
In other ways.
In other ways, everyone.
But
is,
tonight
man.
she was like, "Hey, the only time I can get a vet appointment for these dogs is at 6:15." She's like, "You can either take the dogs or watch both kids at home." And I'm like, "Dogs!
I got the dogs.
Dogs!
I got the dogs.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and actually, today Heath took Carter all day, and just had
I bet Carter had a fucking blast.
a blast. Went to 3 parks.
Oh God.
Went to 3
With
parks.
dogs? With the dogs?
No, we had the.
No, I thought his dogs.
Britt took the dogs earlier in the day to whatever they do out in the woods.
Yeah. Poop.
Yeah. but yeah, just and we have daycare today. It wasn't like he was off. Heath was just like, "Hey, I want to take Carter for the day." And
I'm sorry. Who's Heath?
Heath is one of our good friends.
That's your. Is
Been on-
Is that your pool boy?
No. I would be.
Has been on the episode, the Maker's Mark wood finishing series
Yes.
from a couple years
Oh,
ago.
okay. Okay. Yeah.
Did an episode.
So it's Heath's a guidance counselor and
Up in Olentangy.
Yep, and this is their spring break, and he was just like, "Hey, like I'll help you guys out. Let me take Carter for the day." Was there at 8 a.m. Took him to the park multiple times, like just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Slept at their house all day.
That doesn't
fucking-
surprise me whatsoever.
No, if you
Every
know
time-
those two,
oh, yeah,
like,
every time-
you just
We talk about Brylan, like he knows things that like I don't remember even telling him. I'm just like, oh shit, all right, good job. Like you can tell he's a guidance counselor and a
yes.
good one. A good one.
But it was just so because as a newborn, we have a newborn and a 2-year-old, and Carter's super jealous. It was just nice.
Is he really?
Dude, he's
You haven't told me that yet. I didn't know that.
more so when Jillian's feeding.
Yeah.
Feeding. He's
Like,
like,
whoa, whoa,
he's
whoa,
like,
I don't
he's
get
like,
that
whoa,
anymore.
whoa, whoa, I want
Tyler's
the
like,
titty. I
same.
want
I
the
want a
titty.
titty too.
And so
And
it's
Tyler's like, whoa, you're third in line,
yes.
buddy. You got it for 2 years.
That can be like a pretty hectic moment in the day. Usually it's first thing in the morning.
Does he melt down or what?
Yes.
Does he?
It's like, hey, where's my mom?
With my mom.
So what we've tried to do is during those times, like I'll bottle feed, and he's normal.
You're
Yeah.
breastfeeding.
Completely
You're
normal.
breastfeeding.
Yeah.
Well, he
tries.
does.
The
He
baby's
does
like,
the thing that you put on,
Yeah.
and then the bottle. He feeds from the bottle, but it's
Like
simulating
like
a
the
breast.
like the Fockers.
Yeah.
yes, simulating a breast. Exactly.
So
That's. I couldn't remember what it was. It was Fockers.
It was the
You're right.
Fockers,
Good
yeah.
call.
for
Good
whatever
call.
reason, like Carter was up 3 times last night, which he normally is never, and Theo also was up.
I still
so
can't
just
believe
a
you fucking named your kid Theo.
yeah.
Fucking Theo.
Theo? Like Huxtable?
Theodore.
He is a huge fan of fucking Theo Vaughn.
Oh.
But
And he
it's
probably
not,
didn't.
it's,
That's what you tell your wife. But
No, I
bullshit.
swear
That
to
is
God, I
100%
swear
what
to
you named
God.
your fucking kid after.
No.
Don't lie.
No,
Your
I
wife
swear
has
to
no
God.
idea, but that's where it came from.
Swear to God.
Theo came from fucking Tyler liking Theo Vaughn, and then he convinced over time. But she has no idea that's where it came from.
No, we talked about this.
Bullshit.
Theodore is the main name, and I was like, if my kid's super gay growing up, he can be Theodore.
Did he just say
said
that?
it, yeah.
Yeah.
think he
Like
did.
he can go with whatever name he wants to. He could be a Marlboro's red guy drinking Bud Heavies and be Ted. He can be Theo. He can be
So you named him Theodore for the
Wide variety
utility
of names,
of all the different names of
It's obviously the Swiss Army knife of
Theodore,
names.
Theo,
He can be
Theodore, Theo,
Be
Ted,
Theo, Thor,
Teddy.
Teddy.
Teddy is another one. Yes.
All right,
Yeah,
fair
Teddy
enough.
Ruxpin.
So
He could be
you,
all that
so
shit.
you were
Theodore
thinking,
Roosevelt.
so
Yes.
you were to save your fucking comment from earlier. That I hopefully don't have to fucking edit out.
What do you, that's a
You-
valid point. If
you
he's
said-
like,
no,
I'm
hey, let the
Teddy.
adult let the adult
I'm
talk.
Theodore.
Let the
I'm Teddy. Yeah.
let the adult
Oh my!
talk.
I gotta
Or
get
if he's
the fuck
like,
out of
So
here.
Smoking on Marlboro.
you named your kid
I'm Ted.
to provide the utility of whatever their lifestyle ends up being.
Correct.
Fair enough. And let's end it there. All right, guys. Thanks for joining in for another episode of the Bourbon Hunters. Jason, thank you as always for
Absolutely,
the
thank you.
selection of bourbons that you brought to us.
Fucking fantastic tonight.
Seriously,
Hell yeah, guys.
I always say I want you to just come over and drink from my stash, but you'd be like, okay, yeah, this is great.
This is shit.
This is great.
No, but the point is I want you guys to. I want
No.
always everyone to try
And I
different,
want you to
unique stuff.
understand that
Yeah.
we totally appreciate it. This is awesome. We
Yeah.
love this stuff. This is what we live for is this type of thing, hanging out, even though Tyler came an hour late.
I got psoriasis.
I think that's just
Psoriasis.
I think
showing
that's
up
just-
in my joints. It's showing,
Oh my
showing up in
god!
my joints.
anyway. But thank you for coming. Thank you for bringing stuff from your stash. We appreciate it. This is what we think bourbon's all about, is just sharing, just hanging out, talking about stupid shit. I mean, if you're still listening 2 hours in, you understand, and you're in episode 100 and almost 60, we don't really talk about anything important. This is, I mean, we really don't. We just talk about stupid shit.
Well, hey, at least they got some insight and some new bourbons. I
Yeah,
guess.
at this point, they're just invested in our lives, and they just hope every once in a while that Jason might show up to add some validity to the podcast. And your wish was granted today. So Jason showed up, gave us 4 amazing whiskeys. Every one of them was outstanding. I don't know how I would rank them, to be honest. I think probably this last one we did was my favorite. And outside of that, every one of them was way above average.
And they're all pretty unique from each
Yeah,
other. I think
that's
too.
what I mean.
What makes it great. It's what makes bourbon and whiskey great. So
Outside of the stories and the friendship and the just hanging out, I mean, you don't want to do it with shitty bourbon or whiskey. So we got to do it tonight with really good bourbon and whiskey. So thank you for joining in, and we'll see you next week when we talk about who knows what, because I have no idea.
Well, we have the 2 ideas that we came up with that we could work on. So that would be fun.
And I have, because we've like 3 episodes ahead right now. Yeah. I could probably do that by the time maybe I'll do that. We'll fill in Tyler too if we go off the air here. All right. All right, guys. Thanks for joining in. See you next week.
Cheers. Yeah.
Thank you for joining in for yet another episode of the Bourbon Hunters. If you like what you hear, please leave us a good rating on Apple, Podbean, Google, or wherever you are listening. It definitely helps us to get great guests on our show. And follow us on Instagram and the Facebooks to keep up to date with what is in our glass. As always, sit back, grab a pour, kick up your feet, and enjoy some bourbon.